A very pleasant good morning. Welcome in. It's halftime, the day before we start flipping the calendar over. Welcome in on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. I'm Phil Elson with my partner, Matt Jones. Christian Johnston producing for the first couple of hours. We are glad to be with you right after. It is a Monday, right? I'm not going to know what day it is until we get to next week for the most part. Matt, good morning to you. Had a nice weekend. Arkansas gets a win in the Liberty Bowl over Texas Tech. Women's basketball got a win yesterday. Got men's basketball wrapping up non-conference play today. And we got 2025 all right there in front of us. So I guess it's time to look back at 2024 a little bit.
Man, what an explosive way to end the new year of 2024. So, man, that was fun. It's always fun to win. A lot of explosive plays, and man, it's good to end the season with a W.
Explosive is a good word to describe what we saw, isn't it? And explosives that you weren't really sure if they would kind of blow up the way things went down. I remember seeing Desmond James on the roster before. I don't think he'd been on the two deep, but we're going to remember that performance. And, you know, that's the kind of performance that you got to think about for next year as well. You can't help it. You know, C.J. Brown played well. Rodney Hill played well. Taylon Green played really well. Obviously, he was the game MVP. But I think the guy that most people walk away from the Liberty Bowl, either from the stadium or from the television broadcast, is Desmond James. That speed, that size, looks like it could play on just about any Saturday. And it played on a Friday in Memphis, and I'm thinking it'll play next year too.
Man, yeah, you got that guy coming back. Liked what I saw out of C.J. Brown. I like how Rodney Hill hit the hole. Like how he got some sacks. Liked how we were explosive on offense. If you were to say anything, it looked like Russell was a little, I wouldn't say timid, but it looked like he was a little off sorts. Like he was. That's what happens when you miss practice and you're not there, and you kind of you're worried about other things. Because he's way too talented to not do as well as he did. But it was nice to see Taylon Green take over. It's kind of a Brady Cook-like game, 11 for 21, but explosive plays, made plays with his legs. I think that's the type of quarterback he could be next year. Taylon, he could be a top 4 quarterback in the SEC coming back next year just another year in the offense and just using his athleticism. And the more comfortable he gets, the better he plays.
It was a good night. It was a really good night in Memphis. The weather was good. We didn't have to worry about cold or snow, and all the rain occurred basically the night before. So it's not usually what happens in a Liberty Bowl that Arkansas plays. And at least the two that I remember that I've been in the state for have been very cold nights that involved incredibly tight games that went to overtime. This one was not quite that. 39-26, the final score. And I thought they were going to put it away after the first quarter, but Texas Tech rallies back, made it a game at halftime. I thought that said a lot about Arkansas coming out in the second half and basically shutting out Texas Tech until it was too late for them to do anything about it. We'll point to the fact that Arkansas rolls up over nearly 560 yards of offense. Green played so well. Desmond James obviously was the offensive star of the game outside of Green, but defensively, I thought they played really well too. And, look, Arkansas did not have their top rusher, did not have their top receiver, didn't have their top tight end, and Texas Tech was down some of those kind of players at the same time, but they were down their quarterback, and I thought that was a big boost for the Razorbacks. If you're playing if you are a team that has your quarterback and you've had him all season long, and he's out there, and he's obviously, I think he was the best player on the field for the most part. And yet Tech did not. And then, leading into kickoff, when we started to see that Taj Brooks, their running back, he was on the field just wearing warm-up shorts instead of the usual warm-up sweats, and he had on flip-flops, and you could tell he wasn't there to play football. And, the opt-outs and transfer portal is a reason why these teams are not necessarily what they were coming into the bowl games. I thought Texas Tech was not quite the same, not exactly the same, not even close to it. Arkansas looked a lot more of what they looked like, but I also think with two starters on the offensive line that had barely gotten any snaps throughout the year, they protected Green very well. So, Again, it's like going into this game, I wasn't quite sure if it means all that much moving forward, but I think it might mean a little bit just based on what we saw. Kobe Branham can play at right guard. Brooks Edmondson can play at center. You got a center coming in from UCF and maybe more, but that's somebody that I think you'd feel pretty good at putting on the depth chart. Guys, obviously the wide receivers that put on their display can play too, and I think there is some stuff to take forward into the 2025 football season. And now for the next few days, it's all about visits and, wondering who's next to join Arkansas out of the portal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's positive. You played against the opponent that was ahead of you, and the guys got out there and for their first chance, and some of them played well. Texas Tech, I don't know that they have any defensive linemen that could play in the SEC, so you got to kind of look at that as well. And you look at both sides of the ball. I mean, you talk about Taylor Green. I'd say Sorey was the best player on the field, number 10. Even offense, defense. Like, he was just 100%, just the class above everybody else. And if I was in the transfer portal, or if I was another team, man, I'd be calling Xavier Sorey's parents. I'd be calling his agent and his representative, because that dude, he was an absolute beast.
Good to be wearing number 10 for this Razorback team, isn't it? On both sides. I almost feel like Sorey, he's kind of like a Taylon Green at linebacker, just incredibly fast, the fastest player. I would say Desmond James might be the fastest player on the field, but if you're looking at just avoiding the rush, I think Sorey could do the same if he was a quarterback, because think of all the times that he got into the backfield and, kind of missed the tackle because he was there so quickly. There's a little bit of rawness to Sorey, but I'll tell you what, his athleticism will play on any day of the week in the game of football. Yeah, finished the game with 10 tackles. Was it 10? 10 tackles, but there were maybe like 2 or 3 where he just was right there as the running back gets the ball on the handoff, and might have missed him, but I was pretty impressed with how he broke right through. It was fun, It's nice to win a football game. It was nice to win it in front of I don't know what the audience looked like, but it was the only game on ESPN at that point. Now the Razorbacks finished the season 7-6. You can say 6-6 if you'll discount the UAPB game if you so choose. I know there are some who do. Matt would be one.
No. I said you don't add their stats, but it counts as a victory.
Oh, not add the stats. Okay.
Be careful.
Not add the stats. That's about that. That may be a better way to put it. So I need to just kind of go through the stat page here and take away the first game of the season. It's going to be a little bit difficult to pull that off. And we get a little football tonight, Monday night, Music City Bowl, and now the story moves on to, I guess, what this Liberty Bowl means and what the team will look like once some more players start coming in, because that, to me, is what January is about. You don't have any practices to worry about. Guys won't really be around each other all that much. But who comes into the program? Who joins the program now? I know they've got a lot of visits lined up, so we'll see what happens in the next few days. And basketball really starts to take center stage now with conference play for the next couple of months. Got the college football playoff resuming tomorrow. And New Year's Eve plans, or whatever that is, too. I think when it comes right down to it, I know I'll be asleep before midnight tomorrow. I don't know about you, Matt. Christian, if you've got any plans, it's do we have a ball that's dropping from anywhere? We got any champagne on ice anywhere? I don't think so. I'll just have a glass of water before bed and call it a night. It's pretty much the way to celebrate. And on halftime today for a Monday, we'll have Connor O'Gara. I was about to call him, I guess, by his initials. Connor O'Gara coming out at 1:15 from Saturday Down South. We'll do 3 Up, 3 Down. Talk to Dr. Charlie Liggett, River Valley Smile Center, in about an hour. And nobody coming up in the next segment. It's Mike Irwin at 11:30 from Pig Trail Nation. So if you got thoughts on the Liberty Bowl or anything else you want to hit on over the next segment, it is wide open for you right now at 877-377-6963. More on the Liberty Bowl and much more coming up after the break. Stay with us.
Matt Jones, sir, a player that I refer to that provided Hog Delight. You're a great ambassador for our program.
This is halftime.
Building warriors.
Physical toughness and physicality matter more now than ever before.
Competing for each other.
You can care about the kids and still win.
Upholding the Hawes standard.
Whatever we do, we'll have good people who are driven and wired, knowing that there's an expectation here and not being afraid of it.
This is one of those Razorback moments.
Follow John Calipari at Arkansas on the hardwood all season long.
Right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Hey, Todd Richardson checking in for the first time. Harry Robinson, Buick GMC Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. The buzz around the dealership, Jimmy, is this $1,500 trade assistant. Tell our audience about that, man.
Man, you got a couple of days left. You better take advantage of it while we have it. We're also running state sales tax paid on all our pre-owned vehicles. 0% interest on our new vehicles we've got out here right now on some of our trucks. We've got some of our Tahoes out here. Our Yukons out here right now. I'm looking at probably about 300 pre-owned vehicles to choose from on our lot. Listen, if you can't find what you're wanting, you're blind.
It is a beautiful day outside. We got a nice wind to come on by and see, Jimmy. We're outside today. Come on by and see us. Harry Robinson, Buick GMC, Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. End of the year sales have been going on through New Year's Day.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like North America's #1 home fire safety brand, Kidde. Because on a day full of football sounds you love, like fight songs, roaring crowds, and your favorite commentators...
Like me, Kirk Herbstreit.
The last sound you want to hear is... Defend your game time with Kidde and the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Based on total household installations as of December 2023.
Over the river and through the woods, to Salisaw we go. Mock Legal Solutions is opening a second location to serve our Eastern Oklahoma clients. 105 East Chickasaw. For divorce and custody, let us give you the Christmas gift of a new start. And for personal injury, we will get you a settlement check when Grandma gets run over by that reindeer. 918-238-2363. Or check out our website at mocklegalsolutions.com. Free intakes and payment plans available. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. Here at ESPN Arkansas, we rely on Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on the radio station when we're not here. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your stuff. Guardtronic, license E50.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Dream driving in my car, saw you at the side of the road. There's no one looking down. You're touching yourself, touching yourself, touching yourself, touching yourself. You said, baby, do you want to come home with me? I got Buffalo 66 on DVD. You said, baby, do you want to come home with me? I got Buffalo 66 on DVD.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Chuggin Van Buren texted. He said he's been using Desmond James all year in the college football video game. So I guess he had a sense that Desmond could play. I don't use the video game, so I would not have known that. I don't know what his rankings are, but maybe the game players had a better idea of what Arkansas had in Desmond James than anyone else. Sam said he didn't know Desmond was so fast, and then he kind of smirked in the post-game presser. Had to have known. Boy, that's some speed. To have your first catch at Arkansas, break the record for the longest pass play in school history. I think it was your pass to Richard Smith, Matt. How long was that one, 92?
Man, that was years ago. I thought Brian Mallett. If you say so, I don't know.
I didn't say so. Rick Schaefer said so.
There you
go. I'll believe him if he says that's a school record. He looked back after the play was over. Well after the play was over, because we were still in shock at what we'd watched. I think that's the longest pass play in school history. And went back and looked it up, and sure enough, I think it was your pass to Richard Smith, 92 yards. That it surpassed, but I think by then Richard might have had a catch or two at Arkansas. That's something else. To break a school record for however many games Arkansas has played football, and for your first ever catch to be the record breaker. I don't know. It can get much better than that.
Well, what do you say? He runs a 10.500. If that's the truth, Richard Smith was an SEC All-American triple long jumper. That's how explosive he was. That's the type of players you have to have on. That's all I've been saying since we've been having this show. When you have guys on the outside, when you have guys that carry the ball, that's one thing Coach Nutt was really good at. You got to have some game breakers that when they get the ball, they can make a play like that happen instead of just being a 34-yard gain and then all of a sudden it's 1st and 10 at the 40 and then you're trying to get it going again. If you have special players that can be a game breaker and can break, that's what sets you up and lets you gives you the chance to win 8 or 9 games, gives you a chance to make the college football playoff 12.
It was a simple slant over the middle. That's all it was. It was a good throw by Talon. It was, I think, a fairly easy catch considering it was right where it needed to be. And then his speed took the rest of the way. I think it was Bryce Stevens that threw the block that was about at the 50 or the 45-yard line, but I think James would have outrun the defender at that point. That's the thing that was missing at times this year. Honestly, that's the kind of play that I would have thought at this point you would have seen from Satania with the same kind of sprinter speed. I'm not sure if he's got exactly the same kind of speed, but he's a guy that ran track like James did in high school. I didn't know this, but then afterwards, Kyle Deckelbaum had found a clip of James winning the 100-meter hurdle in high school in North Carolina, state champion.
I just think
it looked like it.
I don't
didn't
think
it
was the hurdle. I think it was just regular 100.
Was it just the 100-meter? Well, I remember I saw it.
It looked like DK Metcalf. He didn't start off the best, but that stride, and once he got going, and then he was able to overcome the guy. Yeah, I saw that was pretty neat.
And he's got the size too. That's the thing. It's not just like, a little guy. And I don't mean anything about Satania from this, but it's Satania's sub 6 foot. James is like 6'3". That's where I think your comparison to like a DK Metcalf, I think, holds a little bit of water, but we'll see how he holds up throughout the season because he's got to be at the top of the depth chart for next season once you start against Alabama A&M. How about so that's somebody sort of like introducing himself to the team. What about the way that Hudson Clark goes out, Isaac Tesla goes out with a 107-yard performance? You got to feel good about somebody that comes up from Division II and finishes his career with at least 100 yards. It was good to see that, and I like seeing Hudson Clark, who played well, enjoy another victory in a Razorback uniform before his career is now wrapped up. Just whatever happens for the next few months for him. 877-377-6963 for calls and for texts. Wes and Harrison wants to remind us to do our picks for the playoffs. Now, I guess we could do that today. We could also do it tomorrow because you get the Fiesta Bowl is tomorrow night. So we don't have to get the picks necessarily in today, but maybe we could. It's up to Commissioner Jones how he wants to handle that. I don't even know what the standings were after the first round. I just know I missed 2 out of 4 because I thought there would be some upsets. Do you think there may be a better chance for an upset on neutral sites? Although I'd say, Texas and Arizona State, that's going to go Texas. I'd say Penn State, Boise, that's going to go Penn State. The other 2 games I'm not quite too sure about because it feels like they're much more evenly matched football games. But if you got thoughts on that too, send it in. 877-377-6963. And Chris sent a question. Yeah, no, Rick did not say that was unbelievable for James to have his first ever catch be the longest reception in Razorback history. He would never say unbelievable. Literally, never say it. Eduardo has called us here on the hotline. What's going on, Eduardo? Happy day before
Man, I could
New
not
Year's
be
Eve.
happier. Is
Good.
that Liberty Bowl performance? Woo! Made me blow my whistle. I'll tell you what, and I've blown the whistle many times on players and games. Let me say this. You're a true redshirt freshman. Stepped up. What about the young man? Desmond James. Give me more, sir. I tell you what, that young man can catch the football and run with it. And you talking about a playmaker. I can't wait to spring football. And what about Mr. Crutchfield if he uses his abilities and come in next year? Certainly, next year is looking a lot better. I know as a fan, I'm feeling a lot better. I got me a big bowl of my favorite dessert, which is Hog Delight. And I've said it many times. Hog Delight is just simply the play on the field by our players. And look at this team. It looked like a totally different team to me. To me, they were flying to the football. They were playing with heart. They were playing with passion. They were supporting one another. Even our coaching staff had a little fire to them. I even see Coach Pivot waving his cane. I even see Coach Petrino chewing on Taylor Green when he didn't get rid of the football, tuck the sack in the end zone like he was coached to do. Let me say this. Taylor Green, I'm so happy he's our quarterback. I tell you what, who's the best quarterback developer in the country? Well, it's Mr. Bobby Petrino. And he's coached many great quarterbacks. And you talk about Lamar Jackson and Taylor Green, I have no doubt his improvement going into next season is going to be tremendous. He's going to be much better. I got a New Year's prediction for next year. Taylor Green at the top of the SEC quarterbacks and rushing and passing. I'll tell you another thing. Put this in your coffee. I think he'll have Heisman-like numbers next year. If we can get any run support, that's better. Any blocking support and any passing support, as these receivers pan out, look out, baby. I can't wait to next season. Blow the whistle, baby, because this team didn't look around and say what we didn't have. They come to play. Give me this team next year. Thank you for taking my call, gentlemen.
All right, Eduardo, thank you as always for listening to our show. The word I kicked around with Rick and with Gino a lot before the pregame started was opportunity. It's not a matter of who's not on your team. It's what do the players who are given the opportunity or earned the opportunity to start and get that playing time that might not have had a lot of playing time throughout the year, what are they going to do with it? And I think they did a lot with it, quite a lot with it. Taylor Green, you think, Matt, as far as quarterbacking is concerned, this is a guy that should be potentially top 4 in the SEC, maybe top 3. Needs the protection. Now, felt like he was protected fairly well, but I also felt that I think there had to have been something in just the rest that he was given in the last few weeks since the last game. He looked a little bit quicker than at the end of the season. Was able to get away from that rush. You could feel it a little bit against Mizzou. And against Texas, it was just couldn't quite get away from it. And maybe that's also, part of the difference between facing, really, really good defenses like you saw from Texas, and Mizzou was okay, and what you see from Texas Tech, which was a defense that struggled specifically in the pass game. And I also think Taylor, I think he was a little bit quicker. I think not having to play 7 days after the last game and basically every 3 weeks, that had to have helped him out.
Yeah, being able to get away from it and kind of take your time and just take a breath for a second, let your body kind of heal up again. I thought he looked really fresh. The quarterback from LSU probably be number one. See if Quinn Ewers comes back. You don't know. You kind of look at Georgia, Ole Miss, Alabama as places that are going to have a good quarterback. You start kind
of kid in Florida too.
Yeah, you haven't. It's a small sample size with him, but you like what you see. You really do. So there's a couple. You're trying to put up where do you think Taylor Green fits in? No question about it, man. I think he can be a top 4 quarterback.
877-377-6963 for any thoughts on where you think Taylor Green can slot into SEC quarterback play, and what you think about the rest of this year. Did you see enough from a Rodney Hill to think that maybe 8 carries a game, something like that, will help out? Braylon, now on the flip side from Taylor, it looked like Russell was just. Green was still at practice, so it wasn't a matter that he wasn't getting reps or anything. Russell, it just seemed that the drama of the in and out of the portal a couple of times, and like you'd said too, Matt, missing practices. I mean, it's tough to stay in game shape if you're missing, I guess, an appreciable amount of practices. He must have missed some of them, but I still think Russell is the guy to be RB1 next year. Because you're not going to have in and out of the portal throughout the season. You're not going to have 3 weeks between games for him, and hopefully he's happy where he is, because this is the kid that I think, along with Green, will make a huge difference for this team next year. All right, we'll break on halftime. Pig Trail Nation's Mike Irwin is coming up in just a moment. Stay with us.
This morning I had called in, and like when you call in, you hang up, you're like, wow, I'll just wait on Madden Field.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
At GNC, we know motivation can come from anywhere. You could be at the gym, totally focused on yourself and your own goals. You refuse to be gym-intimidated. Maybe you're on a weight loss journey, a new path to change your life. Nothing's gonna stop you. Or maybe you're putting in overtime on those booty goals. No shame in getting those gains round back. You could just be out to prove that when it comes to pickleball, you are a pickle baller. No matter what motivates you, we have the fuel to keep you going. Fuel your fitness at GNC.
You're listening to Halftime live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, Tom Richardson, check it back in. Harry Robinson, Buick GMC. Ho, ho, ho. A little couple days after Christmas. And Brent, you guys have your year-end event going on right now, year-end sales event, and there are a lot of things going on at Harry Robinson Buick GMC.
There's a ton. We got Ty here. That's a big one. And then we got a bunch of inventory out here from used cars, state sales tax paid.
No payments for 90 days.
Man, $1,500 in trade assistance.
Woo!
You name it, we've got it. Sales on our new vehicles as low as 0% on special APRs.
You're not just trying to make room for the 2025.
Man, no, we're trying to make room, get you a seat in one of these.
Even better.
Going, get you on the road, get you going. Come back and see us. If you've been here before, if you haven't, come by and see why we have the best finance team in the River Valley.
Over 75 years in experience. Brett's one of those awesome sales guys here. Come on by and see us. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11, I-540 in Fort Smith.
Weekend. The holidays are here, and Fort Corks is your holiday celebration headquarters. Special times with a few or just for you makes Fort Corks Wine, Beer, and Spirits your holiday party planning destination. Fort Corks, 8000 Fort Smith. It's time to celebrate Arkansas. with Four Corks Wine, Beer, and Spirits. Four Corks is your final stop before the big game. Wine, beer, craft beer, bourbon, and even cigars. Your watch party destination is Four Corks, 8000 Street, Fort Smith.
At Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC, we dial 782-8940.
This is Joe Calderera with Taliano's Restaurant. We call 782-8940.
Keep warm this winter with a York high-efficiency furnace. Or for more information on endless hot water and a high-efficiency tankless water heater, give Blaylock Heating, Air, and Plumbing Services a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Everything to you. You say you want to start something new, and it's breaking my heart you're leaving. Baby, I'm grieving. But if you want to leave, take good care. For we have a lot of nice things to wear, and then a lot of nice things turn bad out there.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Always appreciate a visit from Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation, and joining us on a Monday just before the new year. Good morning, Mike. How was your weekend, and how was the Liberty Bowl for you?
You know, I liked it. It was actually one of the better bowl games I've watched, not because it was a big game in the scheme of things, but because in this day and age of NILs and people hitting the portal and not playing in bowl games, which used to be very uncommon, I think you had a bunch of guys out there that were just out there showing that there are people who still want to go out and play a game and win. You know, there was not a lot at stake other than pride and want to finish the season on a win. I think they worked hard. I think they went to the bowl game and enjoyed the time that they were there. And then I think if you watch what they did after the game, and it wasn't on television, but there were a lot of stuff that was put up on the internet of the way they just enjoyed the fact that they'd won that game. Eric Mateos had a team shot of a group shot of the offensive linemen all sitting there, and he talked about, you know, how impressed he was with some of the younger guys and what they did. And I just enjoyed watching guys that love to play football going out against an opponent that I think they were evenly matched against those guys. I thought both teams played really hard, and Arkansas was able to win and win convincingly in the end. So it's much better to end the season on a win than a loss. And all you got to do is talk to OU fans or A&M fans to know that.
Yeah, Mike, I like the fact that every time one of the players had success, they celebrated as a team. You know, you didn't see a lot of individual celebrations. Wanted to get your thoughts on Sorey. I thought both 10s, you know, Taylor Green on the offensive side and then Sorey on the defensive sides, they both could have been players of the game because I thought Sorey was all over the place.
Oh, he was a beast. I mean, he was hammering some people. I mean, he was sticking them. And it gets you excited about next year. I think he he served notice. I'm going to be one of the leaders on defense. I think that schedule next year is brutal, and they could be better and not be any better record-wise than they were this year. I don't know what's going to happen, but they really need him and several other guys to step up. And I also was impressed with Green. He didn't turn the ball over. He did have the one sack where he made a mistake, should have gotten rid of the ball, and didn't. But that was his only big mistake of the game. And, you know, what really shocked me, guys, was I knew Tech's defense had been pretty bad this year. And they played the first quarter like they were the worst team Arkansas had played defensively. They were pitiful. And then I don't know what happened, but from the second quarter on, they were playing well. And Taylon Green had to make some big plays with his feet to avoid being sacked several times, turning potential, 4, 5, 6 yard losses into first downs. I thought he played a really good game. I thought he was smart. I thought, when you're looking ahead to next year, and I don't know if you guys noticed what Petrino did when he made that mistake and got sacked. But he chewed him upside one side and down in a way I haven't seen before. Even followed him over and sat down and got in his face when he sat on the bench. And, I mean, Green was almost perfect after that.
Yeah, I did see that. I think he was what I saw. I'm not a lip reader, but he's like, you're better than that. And you did see the other two guys coming out there, and it's you either get rid of it quick, or you got to run it up. You got to check out of it. But yeah, no, that was a play that you're hoping, because as a coordinator, you want to give your quarterback you want to have confidence that he's not going to make you, because if that's going to happen, Mike, I can't ever run that play again. I got to get in heavy. I got to run the tush push. I got to just run it up the middle. We can't really. And so that you want to hope your quarterback, and that's a great teaching moment right there.
Yeah, and again, we'll just hope that what we're anticipating is year 2 under Petrino, and people that have worked under him will say it takes about 2 years to fully ingest his system, to understand him or whatever. So I think that's one of the things you kind of hang on to next year in spite of that brutal schedule. Maybe they're going to be a lot better. Maybe there'll be fewer turnovers next year. And again, hopefully that defense is going to be more aggressive. The big complaint about the defense all year is they didn't force any turnovers. Well, they did in this game, in spite of the fact that there were a lot of guys missing out there. So, again, it was just a fun game for me to watch.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm thinking of, is that you had the defense that didn't just, slow Texas Tech down, is that they took the ball away a couple of times. You got to be able to do that. I got to ask you about Desmond James. Why did we not see him? Was there an injury earlier in the season? Was it just a matter of difficult to climb up the depth chart? Because if you think of somebody with that size and that speed, I'd have thought we might have seen him earlier in the season.
I thought Hutch wrote an article on that, and I thought he did a good job of explaining it. I think the coaches knew that this kid had speed, but wide receiver was probably the best position group on this team in terms of players that are capable of making big plays. And I think he was playing behind some guys that were more experienced. And I think what he needed to do to get playing time was do something in practice to get their attention. And he just didn't turn out to be a big practice guy. There are players like that don't show out in practice, but you give them a chance, you put them in a game, and suddenly they turn into a different guy. And I think that's what he was. And now, they're bringing in a bunch of guys, a bunch of receivers out of the portal. I think they've already got some that are currently on the team, including James, that are exciting to think about for next year. So I think one of the things you got to deduce from the portal people that they've gone after is that Petrino is really planning to throw the ball a lot more next year. And I think that's reflected. It must be reflected in his belief that Taylon Green is going to throw the ball better next year.
You better find some tackles.
Yeah, well, they what they
that
do.
Texas Tech defensive line doesn't have anybody that can play for a big time SEC. Like so when we're looking at it, I get it. We're excited about it, but we got to remember who we're going against, and that we kind of won both sides of the line of scrimmage against Tech, and that doesn't happen in the SEC.
I haven't followed this portal thing as closely as some, but I think they've already brought in 5 new offensive linemen. And I think every one of them are from Power 4 schools. They got the kid out of Oregon that redshirted and didn't play, but by all accounts, they really think he's going to be good. They got a guy out of Ole Miss, Georgia Tech, some others. So I was talking to Otis about this, and he follows that stuff as well as anybody. And he tells me that the coaches believe that in spite of the 3 starters that left, they think they'll have a better offensive line next year, maybe with better depth.
I think you're going to end up with some position battles all across the offensive line. So I understand that Carmona is coming back. I understand that Harris is coming back, but they brought in some other tackles who are really talented, bigger guys. I really have a tough time believing that any position is absolutely spoken for at the moment. And I got to bring up Carmona with this, stepping on C.J. Baskerville's ankle, and it's like I don't know what it's like to be on a football field at that moment. It was late in the game. Their running back, Arkansas's running back Russell gets tackled, and looks like Carmona's walking over to try to peel some players off the pile, and then you see him step on Baskerville's ankle. And I mean, Baskerville's the one who pointed this out on his Twitter feed, while congratulating Arkansas for playing well, and then accusing Carmona of being a dirty player. I don't know where I couldn't tell where he was looking. It looked to me like there might have been some intent behind it, but I don't know what it's like to be on a field where you got a pile of men that are trying to get off of each other, and one guy's coming in to try to help somebody else. I don't know what to make of it. I just know that it doesn't really look good for Carmona, and he also did apologize, without apologizing to the player. Said, something about my actions, and I think in his mind, at least, he realizes something happened that shouldn't have happened, but I don't know if he'd have said anything if there wasn't something pointed out about it.
Yeah, my explanation of that is, and I watched it many times, look, guys, he did do it on purpose. You could see him stand there and then put his foot down and then apply pressure. But I don't think he was trying to injure the guy, because if he'd have put his full weight on that ankle, I think he might have broken it. He just pushed down hard enough to let the guy know, hey, and he said in his internet post that Carmona said some stuff to him pretty much like, hey, take this. That tells me there was stuff going on in the game, and some Razorback fans who were enterprising went and found a couple of plays where this kid appeared to undercut a Razorback player while making a tackle, and that may be what it was, that there may have been word circulating on the sideline, hey, watch out for this guy, he's doing this, he's doing that, and Carmona decided to send him a message. I don't know.
Do you compare it to like a pitcher hitting a batter with a fastball? Is it so?
Yeah,
there's really not that. It's kind of a big deal, but not really a big deal.
If he had put his full weight down and had really injured the kid, then it would be a different story, but I think he knew what he was doing. And what's interesting about this, guys, is that an incident like this is made for the internet, because you got extremists on the internet that love to go back and forth. So on one hand, you got these people totally defending him, saying this stuff happens all the time. One guy went so far as to say, hey, there are people his age that are out getting killed in Afghanistan and places like that, and you want me to feel sorry for this guy who got stepped on? Well, that's a stupid comparison. These guys aren't in a war. What he did was wrong. He deserves to have to make an apology, but because there was no injury, I doubt there'll be. But then you have people on the other side saying he should have been arrested and prosecuted. Yeah. Come on, guys.
They should never play down a football against. Like, come on.
Exactly. It's just like these internet extremists that want to take one side or the other when the real answer is in the middle, which is it shouldn't be done. If I'm Sam Pittman, here's what I'm more concerned about. Carmona has had several unsportsmanlike conduct penalties this year.
Yeah, one in the bowl game, too, for a late hit.
Exactly. And that can hurt you in a game. It can keep a drive alive when you are forcing a punt So I would be inclined to sit him down and say, you need to get better control of your emotions because this could really hurt us. That's, to me, the real answer here, not whether you should prosecute somebody or whether you should reward him for stepping on a guy. Neither one of those is acceptable.
I really like the analogy that you pointed out there, Matt. It makes me understand it a lot better because, there are pitchers who will view themselves as enforcers for their teammates.
Well, and the way Mike put it, so it's like somebody slid into the second baseman or the shortstop in the third inning, breaking up a double play. Then he comes back up in the sixth inning. The pitcher hits him, and it's because there is intent behind it. You're not trying to hurt the guy. You're just sending a message, and that's kind of what Mike was saying is like he did it on purpose, but he wasn't trying to hurt him. He's just kind of – it's kind of like policing yourself a little bit.
But I also think it says something about the way that Carmona views himself, his role on the team, outside of being the left tackle. I mean, I think he views himself
He's
as
a leader.
the enforcer. Yeah. He'd be the guy on the hockey team that it's like, all right, this is the dude that leads us in penalty minutes, and we're going to be okay with that.
Yeah, go back and look at that again and see if you can't see that when he applies pressure with that foot, he doesn't put his full weight on that ankle. He just kind of presses down like brute. And then I think the guy did a little bit of an acting job. He's like flopping around like he's been like mortally wounded, and then he's playing later. So, those things happen.
Mike, I'll be asleep by 10:30 tomorrow night. How does Mike Irwin take in New Year's Eve?
Oh, my wife and I, we're too old to go out and go to parties and things. We'll be here. I'll usually try to make it till midnight, and then I'll look at her and say, "Hey, Happy New Year," and then we go to sleep. That's about the way it works.
Well, Happy New Year to you, Mike. We appreciate you hopping on with us on these Mondays. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation with us each Monday on Halftime. Time to wrap up hour number one after the break. 877-377-6963 to get with us. We are right back.
Talk about Molly Cyrus. Certainly, a football program is facing obstacles, and we got to do something to climb a little higher on the mountain.
This is Halftime.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, Tom Richardson checking back in. Harry Robinson, Buick GMC, X11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. Yeah, we're outside today. It is a beautiful day. You guys have a lot of incentives going on here these next 3 days. End of the year sales event. Man, it's huge.
Yeah, time is running out, though. We've got sales tax paid on all of our pre-owned inventory. Got a little over 300 vehicles to choose from. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, you name it, we got it. Also, right now until the end of the year, we've got $1,500 trade assistance going on. So anybody trading a vehicle, you're going to get an extra $1,500 for that vehicle.
An extra $1,500, man. Plus, there's no payments till 2025 in some cases. I mean, listen, if this is the place you're looking for when it comes to buying a new vehicle, you got it all right here.
Yeah, and you said it. They're actually not paying a payment until February this time.
So that's a big deal. Come on by and see Chad today. Harry Robinson, Buick GMC, X11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. Always online, harryrobinson.com.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC. Head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use the promo code BELIEVE for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in DeQueen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
With the new Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, $7 goes a long way. A cheesy gordita crunch stacked with layers of luxury. A Doritos Locos Tacos, extravagantly crispy. A beefy 5-layer burrito overflowing with cheesy indulgence. It's all you want and more. For less. The new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell. It's Lux for less.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-39.
Right now, maybe it's the best division in pro football. Looking at 3 teams with 11 wins or more. And pretty much the overall number 1 seed is coming down to the top 2 in the North right now, the Vikings and the Lions. And Vikings are the team that's healthier, but they're doing it with a quarterback that was given up on by how many teams gave up on Darnold? And now this is a guy that's going to get some votes for the MVP the way he's played this year.
Yeah, he could get some 4th place votes. I could see that, man. I'm proud of him. You know, you always say I think he was a 2-year starter at USC. It's like, man, you got to get reps. It's tough, and then you got to get in the right situation. You look at Baker Mayfield as well. Same thing. Jared Goff, even to some extent, he was shipped away by McVay and the Rams, and for Stafford, and the Rams ended up winning a Super Bowl. So maybe, those are 3 quarterbacks that were kind of in the wrong spot, and now they're having success.
So if you're the Vikings, and I remember thinking about this a little bit the same way of with the Niners, although it was different with Purdy and what happened with Garoppolo there, because you'd had an established veteran who's known for getting hurt, but good when he's healthy, and then Mr. Irrelevant that comes in and ends up helping them get to a Super Bowl. This is different because who knows what J.J. McCarthy would have been like. But I guess you'd say it's a good problem to have because it's not like the Vikings are paying Darnold all that much. Do you go into next season, I guess would be my question, having them battle it out for the top spot? Do you trade somebody when it comes down? Do you trade the veteran and go with the rookie? Or it's just, I always say it's a good problem to have, but maybe what if you make the wrong decision? What if you choose to keep the wrong guy and you end up getting rid of the other one? I just don't, do you go with somebody that's been around but hadn't played very well until this year? Or do you go with somebody that was your first pick and has still never taken an NFL snap?
A lot of talent on that Vikings team, and they're a lot like Detroit. And you see this in divisions. Teams kind of mirror each other because Minnesota, what do they have to beat? They have to beat Detroit. Same thing. It's kind of a black and blue type division. So that's the thing. Detroit's a little banged up, but Minnesota's their defense. Do you know they have a turnover in every single game this year? Like that's just that's an unbelievable stat. The first drive against Green Bay, they make Jacobs cough it up the other day. So it's some game they're not going to get a turnover, and how do they go? But yeah, man, Minnesota's they're one of the most talented teams going.
877-377-6963 as we get into our second hour of halftime. We'll be doing 3 Up, 3 Down with Dr. Charlie Liggett from River Valley Smile Center at a quarter after. So we're wide open as we get into the 12 o'clock. Stay with us on halftime. Glad to be with you the day before New Year's Eve. Stay with us today.
Winter has arrived, bringing frosty mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jasco Graphics, 16 years in the industry. Cecil, this is the one-stop shop.
Yes, Jasco Graphics Design, the one-stop shop, 2415 Midland, for your custom or buck order.
Why ESPN 95.3?
I really enjoy listening in, and it keeps my day going while I'm at work. Jasco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jasco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you stuck in a paper jam of printer prices? Paper cuts from budget cuts? Don't throw in the towel. Call Dixie Digital Imaging and dive into our new and used inventory blowout. We're slashing prices on top-of-the-line Xerox, Brother, and Epson printers and multifunction devices. Gently used or brand new models that are tired of being in our warehouse. Don't miss out on these deals. Call 479-783-6600 for more details. Quantities and availability are limited. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Are you looking for the cheapest prices on car insurance? Then call the Cheap Car Insurance Hotline right now. Hey, you're guaranteed to save money on your car insurance. Most car insurances can be canceled at any time. That means if you find a better deal, you can switch right away. We're not just one company. We offer most of the major brands of car insurance. We're like a discount supermarket for car insurance. And it doesn't matter if you have a good record or a bad driving record. Our agents are experts at finding you the right car insurance for your needs. Our average customer saves hundreds of dollars a year when they call us to switch. So why don't you make this 100% free call right now and see how much you can save on your car insurance?
800-493-6114. 800-493-6114. 800-493-6114. That's 800-493-6114.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Skies will remain mostly sunny statewide today with highs around 60 degrees across the north, lower 60s in the south. Overnight, partly cloudy through the evening, becoming mostly cloudy by daybreak, lows in the mid-40s. I'm Jared Sorello with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Touchdown, Arkansas! How did he get that wide open?
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
You gotta take it here. That's the perspective. If I'm all right. What can they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad we showed them at halftime.
What's ain't but one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Rolling along into our second hour. Halftime continues. You're listening to ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. I'm Phil Elson with Matt Jones, Kristen Johnston producing, and we'll be talking, well, we're doing 3 Up, 3 Down about 15 minutes with Dr. Charlie Liggett from River Valley Smile Center. We can count him as a guest, but he's kind of like a little bit like a co-host for a segment or two, and hey, he just popped in at Jelco Outdoors a couple of Fridays ago and figured he would come in for a segment, so why not? So that makes him a little more than just a guest. It's like he's a bit of a co-host.
When you go there, your family.
That's exactly right. Man, that is what restaurant is that? That's Olive Garden, isn't it? That's well, yeah.
But that's unlimited soup and breadstick is Olive Garden. You know, you go
and
there.
The salads too.
Yeah, soup, salad, breadstick.
You can make a whole meal out of it if you wanted to, and that is the if you're here family kind of. If anybody feel like family there before? Well, yeah, because you didn't have to take. They made you take the dishes into the kitchen. That's how you felt like family. Calls and texts come in at 877-377-6963. Penn State and Boise tomorrow night in the Fiesta Bowl. The rest of the playoff will get going on New Year's Day. It's nice to have these on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Feels really, really traditional. Also, you know, traditional to have these in bowl situations. I saw somebody writing about the idea of why would a team that wins a conference championship be given a bonus of a bye and not a home game? It's like, what would you rather have in this case? The idea that you can have most of your fans behind you, your own locker room, sleep in your own bed, not have to travel anywhere and just be able to stay at home, or not play for an extra 10 days or not, you know, for an extra 10 days compared to the team that you're playing. I could see a case where you would want these games to be home games, because look in the NFL, the only game that is a neutral site is the Super Bowl, and teams, you know, the whole idea of winning your games in the NFL is to not just make the playoffs, but to host as many home games as you can before you get to that neutral site game. In college football, you know, they obviously did what they could to keep the bowl partners happy, because if you don't have the playoff games at the major bowl sites, what kind of football game are they all going to get? But I would just think that it would be a real, you know, feather in a team's cap to be at home. Just look at what it was like for the first round games. Those were real home field advantages. And I think Boise would like to have home field advantage over Penn State. They just don't get one. And also Penn State, I think, is going to be a better team.
That's interesting, but yeah, I mean, you obviously you want to buy a game. Boise needs to worry about the game on the field instead of worried about getting a home field game. That's going to be a tough game. I mean, all four of these games, man, they're going to be fun. I think Texas, you know, last week I said Notre Dame was the lock, which I guess every game was the lock, was the home team that I thought for sure was going to be the game that the team would win. And Ohio State looked the best. If you wanted to say who looked the best on week one, Ohio State did.
I thought so.
That Oregon-Ohio State game, I mean, that is a coin flip game. If you've ever seen, that could be for the same price. That could have been the national championship game, that Oregon-Ohio State. I think that's two of the three best teams. I think Texas, Ohio State, and Oregon are the three best teams left in it, and you're getting Ohio State, Oregon in the Elite Eight. That's pretty cool.
Just think of the difference between Ohio State actually getting the bye and therefore not getting the home game against Tennessee, and Oregon would have had a home game instead in the first round. what was it, a 1-point game at Autzen Stadium a couple of months ago, and it was it Will Howard sliding without any timeouts left or forgetting to call timeout, and time runs out. They didn't have a chance to run one more play, and maybe they could have had a chance to kick a game time or go ahead or game-winning field goal, and that's what gets Oregon the home game. And look, I agree with you. I don't know who to pick in this ball game. I would pick whoever would be at home, but there is no home, so it's just going to be a coin flip. But Christian's the one who's using the coin, the magic coin that Matty T must have left over from when he was our show producer. Yeah, I have no idea as far as that goes. I know I have a sense Penn State is the better of the teams that play tomorrow. I have a sense too that when it comes to Texas and Arizona State, Texas is a much more physical ball club and should be able to use that to their advantage. As far as Notre Dame and Georgia and Ohio State and Oregon, I'm really not too sure. Feels like coin flip games both ways.
Well, you got a backup quarterback at Georgia, so that's, and if you're going to say coaching advantage, if you want to give to Georgia, and the one thing that so the quarterback advantage is going to be Notre Dame. You saw Notre Dame early in the year go toe to toe with Elko and A&M, and that offensive line, defensive line is just as good as anybody. So Notre Dame has that, and then you look around. And who was their running back? Love? Didn't he run a 10.5? I guess that's the number going around in high school. So the knock on Georgia this year, and Georgia's a really good football team, but it's the outside guys, it's the running back, it's where are the explosive players, where are those game breaker athletes? They might be on Notre Dame's team this year. So that's kind of a little bit different. Is this the first time Notre Dame? You go back and think to the Manti Te'o days and Notre Dame getting a chance to play in the national championship and just getting ran through. It's because they didn't have the speed. They might have the speed this year. They might have a running back and a couple guys that can make plays for them and fly around on defense. That's because years past it's just Georgia, no question about it. It could be a coin flip game. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Georgia goes out there and wins by 17. But I do think Notre Dame actually matches up a little bit better with Georgia than in years past.
Looking at the Bet Saracen lines, Georgia's a 1.5-point favorite. Ohio State 2.5 points. The other two games are both double digits. Texas 12.5 points, and Penn State 11.5 points. These usually aren't the kind of lines that I would expect to see when it comes to the quarterfinals of a college football playoff. But then again, it's the first year we're doing this 12-team thing, so shouldn't have had any expectations as far as that's concerned. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime. Hello, Charlie. What's going on, Charlie? How are you?
What's up, Phil? I thought about this for a minute, and as you were talking there, and I said, you know what? Phil is always getting on me about something, so I'm going to try to fix something today. He's always getting on me about hanging up just a little bit too early. So here's what I'm going to do. The tuna's just going to not hang up. Whenever you guys hang up on me, which could be quickly, it could be in 30 seconds, I don't know. But when you guys hang up on me, then that's when it'll happen. I'm not going to do it.
So Charlie, this is the thing, because you hang up, but you always hang up just as one of us starts talking. You don't realize that there is a code for we're about to hang up on you. The radio code for we're going to hang up on you is appreciate the call. Anytime you hear a radio host or a DJ appreciate the caller's call, that means they just got hung up on. That's right.
All right, I got you. Because sometimes, I know I try to be, y'all are like family to me. I want to just have back and forth, but I don't want to hog this segment. I want Eddie to get in here and scream in your ear a little bit.
Eddie already busy. This is proof you have not listened to the first hour. Eduardo called in the second segment, Charlie. So he's not. This is the Charlie segment, although somebody else is calling right now. So there'll be somebody once you're done, whenever that is.
All right. Well, I'm going to say this real quick. Man, I was proud of Arkansas. A lot of SEC teams didn't get it done. So you think about that. I mean, I didn't really think USC would beat A&M. And, a lot of people were talking about all the distractions and all this and that, and kind of brought this up this morning. But, do people not understand what Arkansas has been going through with all the distractions, the things going on, and the portal and this and that? So, also, by the way, guys, I called it. Courtney Crutchfield is back at Arkansas, and I was thinking about if we would have brought him in last year, he probably would have came at a higher price if you think about it, right, Phil? And I don't mean to throw this out here, but we might have got him for a little bit cheaper, and we got him this year. So, and he might not have played for us. I mean, and that's what I want people to understand. I don't know if he would have got on the field for us this year. So it is what it is. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's home, but he don't need to be getting just handed nothing. You got to earn your spot, because those guys that went out there and played the other day, C.J. Brown, Desmond James, all those cats that played the other day that are going to be back next year, they showed something. So Courtney Crutchfield needs to be coming in here thinking he's going to be given the job. And I'm going to give Rodney Hill some props too. He did some really good things in that game. And Braylon Russell, people think, oh, there's your number one running back. No, man, you got to earn it. And on that sack, Matt, what did Russell? He picked up the wrong guy, didn't he? I thought he went outside instead of going inside first, and I thought that's part of the reason Green took that sack right there, because he thought Russell was going to take the inside guy. What did you see on that one? You think he missed? You're supposed to go inside out, right? Matt, on that?
Usually you want your running back matched up on a linebacker. You want your tackle matched up on the DN. So when you're talking about protecting, that's how you started, is you're trying to look for body type, athletic ability. So you want your tackle on your DN because that's what they're used to doing, and you want your running back scan into the linebacker. I don't know what they had the call was there. I'd have to go back and look at that again, Charlie.
Yeah, and I think you got like half slides where you take the center guard tackle, and I get it. So you may be right about that. That's partly on Green, and I know Petrino. I'm going to hold Petrino accountable for that call too, because you can blame Taylor on that one, but I'm not dropping him back in the end zone. And I'll be honest with you guys, our tackles the other day didn't play as well as I thought they should have, and Taylor just did a good job of avoiding, stepping up when he needed to. The guys on the inside, Edmondson and the right guard, the young guy,
Branham,
they played
Kobe
extremely
Branham.
well. They played great, and I'm super proud of those kids, man. And Blackstock played well too. So, we just got to keep loading up in the portal on these linemen. But our tackles, they shouldn't be getting. They got to earn it, man. I like Carmona, but I don't like penciling folks in. C45 was talking about that after the game the other day, like, come on, man, get some competition in here if we can get it, which I think they've done. And these people need to earn. They've done it, and they need to earn their spot, and that's the way it needs to be. And I'm excited for next year, but I gotta turn the page to football and basketball and baseball is right around the corner too, Phil. So, anyways, y'all have a good one.
You got to, Charlie, appreciate the phone call. Well, he actually did the hanging up this time. He appreciates the radio show in that case. We appreciate Taco Bell with their $7 Lux Cravings box. Live Lux for less. The new $7 Lux Craving box from Taco Bell. 3 indulgent full-size classics, chips, nacho cheese sauce, and a drink is just $7 only at Taco Bell. We'll break. We're doing 3 Up, 3 Down with Dr. Charlie Liggett from River Valley Smile Center in just a moment. This is Halftime.
And like Jackie Gleason said, my talent came from the Lord, so I can't really take any credit for what I've been blessed with.
This is Halftime.
See, what every long shot come from behind underdog will tell you is this. The other guy may in fact be the favorite. The odds may be stacked against you, fair enough. But what the odds don't know is this isn't a math test. This is a completely different kind of test. One where passion has a funny way of trumping logic.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, Ty Richardson checking back in. Harry Robinson, Buick GMC, Exit 11, I-540 of Fort Smith. Mike, it's the end of the year sales event. We've got a lot of things going on. We're talking $1,500 trade assistance, safe sales tax paid on every single pre-owned vehicle, and no payments until 2025.
Yeah, so if you're just driving around and you feel like you need a new vehicle, whether you're unhappy with your current one or just want to upgrade, or even your vehicle is not running right and you want to get in something new, come see me. I'll get you done, and I'll help you out.
Quick and easy here. Again, today, tomorrow, and even on New Year's Day, you can take advantage of the end-of-the-year sales event going on at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Come on by and see Mike and the team. We're at XC11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith, and you can always check us online at harryrobinson.com. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, where you always get more for your trade.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
What makes Crabtree RV Center different? First, we are a fourth-generation family-owned business, taking pride in making your family's dreams come true. No corporate mentality here. Second, we've been in business for 74 years, founded in 1950 here in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas area. We are not going anywhere. What does that mean for our customers? A family feel with no corporate hidden fees. The reassurance that we will be here for generations to come, and knowledgeable salespeople who want to pick the right RV for your family to make lifetime memories in. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett at River Valley Smile Center. You may know me as your local dentist, but I'm a giant Hogs, Dolphins, and college baseball fan as well. Listen to me, Phil, and Matt talk about our 3 ups and downs for the weekend every Monday on halftime at 12:15. At River Valley Smile Center, we're a comprehensive dental facility that offers children's dentistry, dental implants, sedation, whitening, and much, much more. Dr. Cole Johnson, Dr. Hannah Cabe, and myself are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
Hey, Todd Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Rachel's at Papa's right now. Rachel, what do you think?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
You can check out their menu at papaspub.com. Cricket, how about you?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Come on by and see us at Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Listen to the song de los criollos. Breathe deeply, as many sounds become one sound. Suelta el aliento.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, we go on to our hotline right now as you're back on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Before we hit the music here, I just kind of realized, because we had Charlie call a moment ago. We've got Dr. Charles Liggett with us, of course, the main sponsor, River Valley Smile Center for 3 Up, 3 Down. And Dr. Liggett, do you go by Charles? Do you go by Charlie? Have you ever tried Chuck before? And which one would you like us to call you throughout the segment today?
I go by all three. Actually, it kind of depends on, like, all my friends from when I played baseball in college, everybody called me Chuck. Growing up, everybody called me Charlie. And then more recently it's Kai Charles. So I answered all of them, and some even worse things, I suppose.
I was thinking maybe Chaz. We could throw that in there, TT, but I don't know if I see him as a Chaz, man. I think he's more of a Chuck. That kind of fits a little bit better. All right, so let's do it here. 3 up, 3 down.
It's time for 3 Up, 3 Down. Presented by River Valley Smile Center with Dr. Charles Liggett.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
What is 3 up and 3 down mean to you, Airman?
End of an inning, strike 3.
Real proper terminology to refer to Charlie as doctor. First and foremost, that's the one you always got to remember here. That's right. What do you want? It's like with my father. Would be like, do you call him dad? Do you call him father? Do you call him sir? I'm gonna tell my friends, we just call him doctor and just leave it at that. All right, I got my first up here. Go to my my list. First up, just the Razorbacks in the Liberty Bowl. I was impressed with the way that they played. They looked prepared. They looked like the game mattered to them, and that's got to mean something in the postseason. That the game matters to you, and it's not that it didn't matter to Texas Tech. I just saw a team that I think understood what this game meant to each of them individually, and everybody went out there and just absolutely busted their ass and played hard. And it's a great way to go into the offseason. You've seen some other bowl games where it isn't necessarily like that, or a team might let go of the rope when they think they've got a big lead. That's something I'll get into in a little bit, but. Yeah, and this is independent of any other thoughts about what the Liberty Bowl was, the team you were playing, some of the team players that they were down. To me, I think, and Pittman said this in the pregame interview with Chuck, that this game is more about us than the opponent, and it felt like that the way that they played. They really were on their P's and Q's for the most part. First down is to the big brawl at the end of the Military Bowl between ECU and NC State. It got so bad that the lead official, the white hat, ended up with a giant cut on his face, right underneath his eye. Looked really, really ugly. And you know what happens at the start of the season next year? The first game of the year for ECU and NC State is against each other. That's kind of like, didn't you guys, Matt, one of your years at Arkansas, close the season in a bowl game against UNLV and then open the next year against UNLV? I just don't think there was a giant fight on the field in the bowl game.
There might have been in that bowl game. I wasn't there for that Vegas game, but I was there as a freshman that next year for the return matchup. I still remember this first game as a Razorback. Lawrence Richardson down the sideline to win the game with a pick six. Man, it was everybody still yelling Oski.
Did it feel, though, like that these teams had played months before and might have been anything left over from it?
Oh, I couldn't, honestly. I didn't play in either one of the games. I was a patron. I was just a pedestrian. My first up, just like it has every week since we've been doing this when the Razorbacks win, it's always better to win. And I know you've heard of Christmas in July, but what about Independence Day in December? Because all I saw was explosive plays and fireworks for the first half, man. That was awesome. I thought Coach Petrino called a great game, and you're exactly right. One of the ways I evaluate these teams and when I watch teams play, how many of those other guys could play for the Razorbacks? Not a lot of those Texas Tech guys would be on this Razorback team. So we did what we were supposed to do. It was good to win. And then the down goes to Carmona. I know it's part of the deal, what makes him great and makes him what he is, but really you got to get him inside that 25. There's no reason to look and go step. That's just not what we're about. But I do like his aggressiveness. I do like his toughness. Got to have a little composure as well.
And one thing, I didn't realize how good that I would feel after a Liberty Bowl win. Like, I feel like the season, it just kind of wrapped up the season in a positive note. And I just feel a lot better about the team going into next season, going into the offseason.
Well, I think one reason why you might feel that way is because there wasn't some huge comeback by the opponent like the last time Arkansas played in the Liberty Bowl and had this huge lead against Kansas, and then the next thing you know, you're that close to losing the game and you got to go into 3 overtimes to win it.
Yeah.
I guess not all wins feel the same when it comes to bowl season because, man, it did feel like Tech they got back into the game. They had the momentum going into halftime, although I will say the field goal that Shipley hit at the end of the first half might have blunted that momentum. So I think that's why you feel that way. If you would have if they would have blown the big lead in the second half, maybe we'd have a bit of a different mindset.
And how about Shipley stepping up, making those kicks? We haven't really had a consistent kicker, for a good part of the season. I thought I was pretty impressed with that as well.
Yeah, he did really well. That's another guy I feel pretty good about going into the season next year. All right, Dr. Liggett, what you got?
Okay, my first up is as usual the Dolphins. They needed a Broncos loss to the Bengals, and they got that. Then they needed Indy to lose to the Giants, which somehow happened. Man, the Giants played really well, or Indy played really bad, and the Dolphins had to beat Cleveland at Cleveland without Tua in 60-degree weather in Cleveland in end of December.
Oh,
That's
just
not
awful.
very common.
It's so uncomfortable. 60 degrees in Cleveland is just absolutely awful this time of the year. How did they manage that?
Well, they played great defense. They put together a really good game plan for Snoop Huntley with Tua being out. And so he hurt he got hit 2 weeks ago and got hit in the hip. They say it's not the same spot where he had surgery in college, but it's affecting his mobility, and it's gotten worse as time goes on. So they sat him. They still know for next week, but they've got the Jets. They got to beat the Jets, and they need Kansas City, who's resting everybody, to beat the Broncos.
And if
so
they can't beat the Jets, you might want to give up on the Dolphins as your team.
Man, the Jets are rough. But anyway, that works out to a 28% chance of them making the playoffs. So that's up from like 4% a couple weeks ago.
All right, so that's up. What's your down?
Okay, my down was the first one is Cam Ward leaving the game at halftime in the Pop-Tart Bowl. I get it, and I get that they kind of worked that out before, but I think you either need to play the game or sit, one or the other. I don't like the way that looks, and I hope that's not a thing moving forward, with players playing a small part of the game and then coming out.
Did you want to see the backup Arkansas's number 2 play at all during this bowl game?
I really did.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's why Cam Ward came out.
No. I don't either. I was just a different question.
Yeah.
So
I
was
kind of surprised
was it the record? Was it the record for touchdown passes in a career in college? And I wonder if he wouldn't have set the record in the first half and still needed a touchdown pass if he would have come out and played in the second. I think he probably would have.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But it didn't go so well for all the teams that had guys decide to play that are going into the draft. I mean, Colorado just got whacked by BYU.
Man, he did.
Absolutely waxed. My second up is to Saquon Barkley.
He's going to have a chance at the record next week if they decide to play him against the Giants. Hurdles his way into the secondary here. Saquon Barkley crosses the 25. 21 more. And 2,000 for the season for Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, I think he's allowed to take. This is the exact same scheme he popped on the long touchdown in the first half against Washington last week. Just pull and counter, backside guard, backside tight end, E.J. Jenkins, and
2,003 yards. Season high 31 carries for him today.
2003, by the way, tied him with O.J., the first running back to ever eclipse 2,000. Of course, O.J. did that in, a 14-game season? I think it means something for Saquon to do it in the 16th game rather than needing next week to do it. And look, 2,000 yards in 17 games, I think is an amazing accomplishment too. But doing it in 16 means a little bit more. So you got Dickerson, AP, Jamal Lewis, Barry Sanders, Derrick Henry, TD. Chris Johnson was the guy that I couldn't remember from Tennessee that had a 2,000-yard season his second year. Barkley and then O.J. 9 running backs have pulled it all time. I guess Lewis is not in the Hall of Fame. Neither is Chris Johnson. But the rest of them are. And I imagine Barkley may be on the way himself. Second down, and this is more me being a fan about it because he was my favorite offensive player when he was with the Steelers. Hines Ward is not a Canton finalist again. He is the all-time leading receiver in Steelers history. Guy won 2 Super Bowls, including a Super Bowl MVP. I feel like they changed some rules because of how good of a blocker he was when it came to blocking down the field. But it might not have had some of the stats that some of the other receivers or other players that have made this list. Torrey Holt probably belongs in before Hines Ward. Steve Smith Jr. probably belongs in before Ward does as well. And Reggie Wayne somehow is not in the Hall of Fame either. So maybe those guys have to get in first before Hines. And sometimes it's just difficult to take your fan hat off when it comes to these sort of voting things, but I probably have to do that. So I'll give myself a down for it too. But I loved Hines Ward, so I'd like to see him in Canton.
My favorite Batman kickoff return, man. There's
right.
no question about it.
The stadium's never been the same since then.
It hasn't been the same. Second up goes to Liverpool, 5-0 victory at West Ham. 5 different goal scorers. King Mohamed Salah is leading the Premier League in goals and assists. They're just getting it done. And my second down goes to the New York Giants. They killed 2 birds with 1 stone. By that, they eliminated the Colts from the playoffs, and they eliminated themselves with the number 1 overall pick in the draft coming up. So good victory by the Giants.
Way to go, New York. All right, Dr. Liggett, number 2 for you.
Okay, number 2, in the Arkansas State Bowling Green game, Bowling Green puts in their 3rd-string quarterback at punter. He's number 18. The punter wears number 19. He pulled his socks up tall like the punter does. He tucked his towel in like the punter does. So he looks just like the punter. He's number 18 instead of 19. They snap it to him. 3rd-string quarterback throws a 30, 40-yard touchdown pass. And they don't end up winning the game. I just thought the play was so cool. And so it got me thinking. I looked it up. And apparently Jared Goff did that for Cal, but he actually wore the same number as the punter back then. But, A-State pulls it off. But I thought that was such a cool play.
Man, I mean, so his name is John Henderson. That was as perfect of a pass as you can throw. I don't know the name of the Bowling Green quarterback, but he could take a lesson from that one throw. It was really something else. What else you got?
Yeah. My second down is clock management, just in general. I mean, we've seen some really bad uses of timeouts late in games. Chicago a couple weeks ago was one of the worst I've ever seen. In Atlanta yesterday, kind of had an opportunity to save a little time and didn't. Anyway, I think that's something that we need to clean up.
All right, I got number 3 for me. Just get a load of the idea if, some club team from the University of Nevada, Reno, came into Bud Walton Arena and beat Razorback basketball. Or let's take it a step farther. Let's say, just some random school, Syracuse, that their club basketball team beat UConn in an exhibition game. That actually happened in college hockey yesterday. The defending NCAA hockey champion are the Denver Pioneers. They were hosting the UNLV club team yesterday. They went into a shootout. This is how it ended.
Matthias Dalmonte for UNLV, and he scores, and UNLV going crazy on the bench.
That's a club hockey team. No matter how good they are, it's a club hockey team. They beat the defending champions of NCAA hockey yesterday on their own ice, never mind, at Magnus Arena. These are the sort of things that just don't happen very much. I know, or ever. Arkansas's got a really good club hockey team. Would they be able to go into Magnus Arena and beat the defending NCAA champions? That's just kind of wild. First of all, that game is scheduled, and then that it actually happens. Just amazing. Third down is to Texas A&M blowing a 21-point lead to USC in the Las Vegas Bowl. I thought A&M had a great defense when Arkansas saw them early in the season. A&M lost 3 of their last 3 games. They lost 4 of their last 5. During that stretch, they allowed 44 to South Carolina, 43 to Auburn. That was not a good offense. Carolina was moving the ball well at that point of the year. And then USC puts up 35 after they lost a ton from their offense. So it just didn't matter who the coach is over there. I thought Elko was the right guy, and he probably still is. It's just the same thing you saw from Sumlin. It's the same thing you saw from Jimbo. A&M down. All right, Matt, you're up.
Oh, my goodness. Third up, Nottingham Forest. Sounds like a team right out of Robin Hood, and they are in second place in the Premier League right now. They've never finished. So the Premier League started in 92, same time Arkansas joined the SEC. They've never finished in the top 4 before, so they would be like Boise State, finishing in the top 4. And so pretty cool. A lot of golf left, so to speak, but right now, man, they're in second place. And then my third down goes to everybody's favorite quarterback. I guess he's America's quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. He just took himself out of the last game, which I guess he did everybody a favor, but Cam Ward did it. Anthony Richardson did it. I guess it's going around. Quarterbacks just they know when to take themselves out.
I guess so. You think that's it for Rodgers? I can't imagine he plays any more for the Jets even this year. But that's a tough way to go out. I don't think Rodgers is going out the way Elway did.
I hope he does. I hope he plays for the Jets.
That's right, Dolphins fan. Makes sense. All right, Charlie, take us home.
Okay, so I thought it was really fun. I don't usually care for all the sideline stuff, but at the Pop-Tart Bowl, they had the Pop-Tarts doing a lot of really funny stuff. Did you see the Pop-Tart kind of sneaking up on the referee a couple times? I thought that was kind of cool. They're trying to make that fun.
I enjoyed watching. I forget what flavor it was that ripped itself out of its own packaging.
Yeah, that
like
was
Hulk
really
Hogan
cool.
ripping off his Hulkamania shirt.
Yeah,
And, the sacrifice. It's like the Pop-Tarts marketing has really gone into 28th gear in the last year. Heck, they've had a movie on Netflix that caught fire, and then you get this bowl game in which, I mean, literally, I think this is one of the only bowl games where people remember the name of the bowl and aren't annoyed about it. And you also look. I mean, when you've got edible mascots and a real toaster trophy.
Yeah.
Don't tell me the bowl season is all about tradition.
Exactly. Well, for my third down, I did have Aaron Rodgers on there, but in that same vein, if he would have called me, I would have told him the same thing. But T. Higgins was told by Sauce Gardner, D-back for the Jets, not to come play for the Jets. Don't come to New York, which I'm totally on board with.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Rob came in with a good up and a down. I appreciate him sending this one in to 877-377-6963. His up is Jimmy Carter's life. His down is Jimmy Carter's death. Carter was president when I was born, and I don't remember much about his presidency because I was like 3 years old by the time he was out of office. But I remember his post-presidency, and I don't know anybody that has been as well respected for obvious reasons of being a great humanitarian. Yeah, I mean, it's, you got to be bummed out about his death, but he did live to 100 years old and was still helping people up until the very end. So, I mean, that's just that's a lesson of how to live life. I go just with an up for him today.
Met his sweetheart in his hometown of 800 people, and they were married together for 73 years.
Wow.
That's a Shawn Andrews.
That's like 10 ups right there. Pretty amazing. All right, that's our 3 up, 3 down presented by River Valley Smile Center. Matt, you're patient of Dr. Liggett. Become good friends with him. I appreciate Charlie. He's become a friend of mine as well, and they do great work over at River Valley Smile Center. They've been best of the best 8 years in a row.
Yeah, you got to get out there and see them, man. They really do take care of you.
Dr. Liggett, we got a new year coming up, and now everybody's health savings accounts kind of reset. What's going on in the next month at River Valley Smiles?
Yeah, just like you said, everybody's insurance will be starting over in January. We've got openings, so give us a call. Mention that you heard us on ESPN Radio and get a free gift.
Ooh, so he's got some surprises for you over there.
It's
That's
a surprise.
River Valley Smile Center is available at 479-646-0706. Can also go online to rivervalleysmiles.com. Dr. Liggett, I hope you have a great new year. Looking forward to talking to you on the other side.
Yes, sir.
It's Dr. Charlie Liggett with 3 Up, 3 Down. Now stay tuned as halftime returns right after the break.
I think about the tuna's talent. The tuna would not be called the tuna if it wasn't for the man above.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
At Skechers, we put the S in comfort.
Wait. Skechers put the S in comfort?
Yes, comfort you have to feel to believe. Skechers, we put the S in comfort.
You sure? Because I won a spelling bee in the 5th grade, and I don't think there's an S in comfort.
Yes, Skechers, we put the S in comfort. Like our hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Footwear that's completely touchless. You just step in and go. There's no bending down and no tying your shoes. And they have Skechers Air-Cool memory foam for incredible comfort. Because at Skechers, we put the S in comfort.
Okay, well, I've got some Skechers slip-ins. Here, let me try. Okay, I'm just stepping in and... Oh, wow. Skechers put the S in comfort.
Duh. We told you.
See for yourself how Skechers put the S in comfort. Find Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
This is Halftime.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Ty Richardson checking back in.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC. Head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use the promo code BELIEVE for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in DeQueen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
With the new Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, $7 goes a long way. A cheesy gordita crunch stacked with layers of luxury. A Doritos Locos Tacos, extravagantly crispy. A beefy 5-layer burrito overflowing with cheesy indulgence. It's all you want and more. For less. The new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell. It's Lux for less.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Man, I got to apologize to Christian because Jody and Harrison had texted. He wanted to know if Christian had 3 things up and 3 things down. I guess we don't usually bring in our producer for that. But then again, I mean, it takes us about 20, 25 minutes to get through 3 people. So that's 15. That's 9 different things to worry about. If we were to add 6 more, would that be okay, Would that be okay? Who are you in the chair there? What's his name? That's C-Unit. Why am I even calling you by your first name? You're supposed to just be Seaburger Movie Unit. Would you have an up and a down that you would want to throw to?
Not off the top of my head, but I can start coming up with some because there was plenty to go with. I feel like this week.
All right, so the state of the Liberty Bowl Stadium to me was an up and a down. It was weird. I don't know how it looked on television, but I know how it looked in the stadium to have a giant hole there where 20,000 seats would usually be sitting, and the two fire trucks had their ladders extended and hanging the giant American flag down. I thought that looked really cool.
My down would be probably the little skirmish in the stands. Apparently there was a fight between Arkansas and Texas Tech fans, but
was it Arkansas and Texas Tech fans, or was it just Texas Tech fans fighting with each other?
Well, there was a guy with like a hog tattoo on his. He was shirtless.
Okay.
So he looked like he was involved in it. So, I mean, it wasn't that bad of a fight, but it was I don't know. It was, if I had to pick a down, I guess it'd be that. But
I think Memphis did a pretty good job putting the bowl game on overall. It's not like the city leaders can do anything about the weather, but it was nice to have like an actual comfortable night for a football game. And hey, maybe by the time we get back there in September for Arkansas at Memphis, we might have, I don't know, close to a complete stadium, though it's 8 months away, something like that, 9 months away. May take a little bit more time. 877-377-6963. Stay with us. Back to wrap up hour number 2 in just a moment on Halftime.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
This is Halftime. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, Tom Richardson, check it back in. Harry Robinson, Buick GMC, XC11, I-540 in Fort Smith. Ronnie, you guys have a lot going on right now, man. It is the end of the year sales event. There's almost too many things to count when it comes to what you guys have here.
That's right. You look out there, lots busy, lots of people here taking advantage of that state sales tax paid on over 300 used vehicles in stock. And as you stated, we got all the new models of Buick, all the new models of GMC in stock. The remaining 2024s up to $7,000 rebates, and then you've got up 0% financing. So right now is a great time to buy, Ty.
Yeah, and I'm surprised I was able to get a hold of you. Like you said, every other sales staff looking around has got someone. So again, if you're interested in driving that new vehicle or that pre-owned vehicle, state sales tax paid, by the way, heading into 2025, then come on by and see us. By the way, no payments till 2025. Hey, Harry Robinson, Buick GMC, XC11, I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you in the market for a new office printer or multifunction device? Look no further. At Dixie Digital Imaging, we bring a legacy of experience and a rock-solid reputation. Our state-of-the-art solutions are tailored to meet your business needs seamlessly. Why settle for anything less? Call us now at 479-783-6600 to get a quote on your next office printer or multifunction device. Elevate your office efficiency with Dixie Digital Imaging, where experience and reputation meet excellence. That's Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, a Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. That's a Cut Above, 719-5605.
Hi, this is Truett Tollett with WT Equipment. We're here to help you get ready for the year ahead. Take advantage of our small engine shop special. Just $129 to service your mower or handheld equipment, any brand. Don't wait, this offer ends February 28th. While you're here, check out New Holland Tractors, Bobcat Equipment, and more. Tough, reliable, and ready to work as hard as you do. Visit any of our locations or online at WTEquip.com. WT Equipment. Equip your future, elevate your potential.
Courtside with Fort Smith Public Schools.
Pretty exciting. First time that we've done a podcast, and we're going to try to promote Fort Smith Public Schools, what we do, our basketball at all 6 schools, the 4 middle schools and both high schools. And then, of course, we've got several big-time tournaments coming up, one that starts today. And so this is going to be exciting.
Coaches take you inside on what's going on in Fort Smith sports. New episode every week on the Hit That Line podcast network and on hitthatline.com.
Takes for 3. It's on the way. Yes! Yes!
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
We had a Razorback birthday yesterday. Izzy Higginbottom celebrated her, I believe it's her 22nd birthday, by scoring 26 points in 24 minutes in a win over UCA. Nice way to celebrate your birthday. We got other birthdays today, some Hall of Famers. LeBron turns 40 today. It makes me feel a little bit older, but then again, I'll turn 48 in 16 days, so all I got to do is think about that. 40 years old LeBron. I know he's not quite the same, but still has enough to put some of those performances together that you saw on Christmas Day. 40 years old. Tiger is 49 today. LeBron and Tiger share a birthday. I think I'd known about that before, but hadn't thought about it in a while. Sandy Koufax, 89 years old today. Koufax, one of 4 Hall of Fame pitchers who finished his career with more strikeouts than innings pitched. Nolan Ryan, Big Unit, and Pedro are the other 3. And then a couple of legendary football players. Jim Marshall, former Vikings defensive end, turns 87. And Hall of Fame Cowboy cornerback Mel Renfro is 83. I remember reading about Marshall when I was a kid in this book that was called Football Players Do Amazing Things. And Marshall was known for, and I know he had a great career, but he's still known for this, for picking up a fumble and running the wrong direction about 70 yards. He thought he scored a touchdown. Turned out it was a safety. So happy birthday to all of them. But Matt, man, I mean,
Purple
LeBron,
people eaters.
Tiger, and Koufax on the same day.
Yeah, Jim Marshall was one of when you're learning about the NFL and growing up as a young lad, and You see the Purple People Eaters, that defense. I want to say they went to like 3 straight NFC championship games. They're kind of like the Buffalo Bills of the 70s. They just, there's a couple teams they couldn't get past. I want to say too, the Vikings are still one of the teams in the NFL that have not won a NFL championship. Like one of the, they've been in the league since '62, I think, is as far as the Vikings that came out.
Yeah, I don't think they won an NFL championship before the Super Bowl era.
That's
and
what I'm saying,
yeah, they haven't won a Super Bowl either. You're right. At least the Browns, who haven't been to a Super Bowl, have a few NFL championships. Yeah. That's right. But, hey, might as well be this year. But I think you're right. You think of, like, the great teams that nobody views as great because they didn't win a Super Bowl championship. The Bills with 4 straight AFC titles, to me, that still qualifies as being a great team. And then, the Vikings have to be on the other side of that. I can't think of another team that's lost. I don't remember if it was 3 or 4 Super Bowls.
Well, it was 3. It was 3 or 4 straight NFC championship game appearances like that. But yeah, they never could cap it off.
I'd say I've had a chance to watch LeBron on television. Obviously, Tiger. Never got a chance to watch Sandy Koufax pitch. That if I had to pick one, I want to watch Sandy Koufax pitch and sit behind home plate to see that curveball do its thing. Hour number 3 of halftime coming up after the break. Get with us, 877-377-6963. Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South in the second segment. Otherwise, it's you and us. Stay with us.
Call the Hogs with Razorback women's basketball this season for exciting matchups inside the Basketball Palace of Mid-America, Bud Walton Arena.
All the changes we've had, the one thing that stayed really same is I'm going to coach them as hard as I'm going to love them.
Experience great family fun and entertainment by cheering on the Hogs along with the Hog Wild Band, cheerleaders, dance team, and mascots.
Charlie inside, up with the ball, fouled, and one.
Tickets start at just $5 at ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Looking to build your own field of dreams? Trust the experts at Tucker Construction and Remodeling. With over 30 years of experience, we turn blueprints into reality, ensuring top quality craftsmanship in every project. From homes to commercial spaces, our dedicated team makes your vision come to life. Choose Tucker Construction and Remodeling, where your dreams are built to last. Call us today at 650-6453 or visit tuckercr.com. Mike Tucker Construction, building your field of dreams.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Skies will remain mostly sunny statewide today with highs around 60 degrees across the north, lower 60s in the south. Overnight, partly cloudy through the evening, becoming mostly cloudy by daybreak, lows in the mid-40s. I'm Jared Sorello with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Good pick.
KERX Paris Fort Smith.
The drinking all day.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios.
Streaming on HitThatLine.com. You gotta take me here. That's the perspective. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Well, can't stay dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Hell, Matt Jones may take it to the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What's angle one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back on Halftime. You're listening to ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com. I'm Phil Elson. My partner is Matt Jones. Colton Little taking over in the producer's chair. That is C45 with us for the remaining 60 minutes. And Connor O'Gara from Saturday Bound Down South coming up in just about 15 minutes or so. Get his thoughts on these playoff games that are starting tomorrow. Some thoughts on Arkansas in the Liberty Bowl and other things across college football, which maybe here's one thing to bring up. Chandler and Van Buren texted this question in. I don't know if you'd seen this, Matt, but Dwight McGlothern, former Arkansas cornerback, was kind of taking what seemed to be cryptic shots at Sam Pittman on X, Twitter, either last night or sometime during the day yesterday. I was pointing to, I think it was McGlothern saying that he told him he couldn't go for the Alabama game last year because of a concussion, and in McGlothern's words, Pittman didn't speak to him the rest of the year, and he didn't get a chance to play much the rest of the year after that. So I did see that. You can take it for what it's worth sometimes, and not every relationship is going to be 100% positive, but at least on McGlothern's end, and he didn't call Coach out by name, but you could kind of tell exactly what he was getting to.
Yeah, McLaughlin's a heck of a player. When you're in charge and you're a leader and you're a coach and you're in charge of so many players, there's going to be some disgruntled guys. That's why you got to be authentic, because if there's a lot of lie in you, the guys see it, and I don't think there's a lot of lie in Coach Pittman. But yeah, things happen. My pops is a football coach. I've been around coaches my whole life, and one of the things that I've learned at a very, very early age, whenever the coach stops talking to you, that's when you got to worry.
Would Coach Jones let you self-diagnose a concussion either, you think? I mean, from what it sounded like, and he didn't really allude to anything, but Nudie didn't say that he spoke to the trainers.
That might be out of Coach Pittman. That's not in Coach Pittman's hands. Yeah. The way the concussions are handled, that's not in Coach Pittman's. He doesn't get to control that. That's a medical staff issue. Now 20 years ago, it was more in the coach's hands, but you're seeing the lawsuits, you're seeing everything go on. The coach doesn't really have a say-so in the concussion protocol.
Cade Renfro also kind of came in and brought in his own story about what happened, why he was booted off the team. But McGlothern, his tweet says, "I love the Razorbacks, but I don't respect a man who tells lies for fun, then talk down on you and scared to approach you when he talk bad about you behind your back." So I think he's also, I don't know, McGlothern went undrafted. I don't know if he's blaming that on Sam Pittman. But if you're saying that somebody was talking about you behind your back, to me that says that in his mind, in McGlothern's mind, somebody was talking to the NFL scouts about him in a way, because I thought he'd get drafted. He ended up not getting drafted.
Didn't he sign with Minnesota? Isn't he on that Minnesota team?
Then that's who it is. That's right. I do think that's what it is. 877-377-6963. And again, this comes out like over a year since McGlothern took his last snap with Arkansas. And yes, there are always going to be two sides to a story of this. It's just you won't hear Coach Pittman's side of the story when it comes to this. At least I wouldn't expect you would. because I don't know anybody's going to bring it up to him, or I don't know if he would even answer something about it. It's just, that happened or it didn't happen, and we're just moving forward to see what's next with this upcoming football team. But look, I mean, just as you look at some of the other players, I think that have played for Sam and how they view him too. It's just like you've pointed out, Matt. Nobody's always going to be 100% with everybody that's on your roster. There's always going to be somebody disgruntled for one reason or another. Nudie obviously has his reason here, and I guess it's up to us to figure out what it is that that we want to believe when it comes down to it. JT says, but if he was cleared and Sam kept him on the bench, then that's on Sam. I think the issue was about that Alabama game in which McGlothern apparently said to Sam that he couldn't go. And from that point, he said that was basically it for him. And his snaps were, I haven't gone back and looked at how many snaps he had from that point, but
I thought it was turf toe, if I remember right. So I didn't know it was concussion. I thought that was McLaughlin's whole thing, was he kind of was struggling with turf toe. But who knows what's reported? Who knows when they report these things? It could, but that's what I thought it was. It could have been concussion.
Didn't play in the Alabama game last year, and that was in the middle of October. He was out for all of October. Didn't play a snap in October, and then got back out there for the Florida game and was still getting snaps for the final month. Even had an interception against Auburn. So I don't know. It seems like it might be a clash of personalities. But it's just interesting that he had something to say about it. Renfro also had something to say about it. We'll see if anybody else comes out with anything about this as well. There's one more day left in the year. I guess you got to do a looking back on things. I've always said it's why do we pick this time of the year to have this artificial human thing where we're moving from one year to the next, and so all of a sudden we start getting nostalgic about things. But that's what we do this time of the year. Favorite game, favorite player, favorite moment, favorite story. If you want to get into that in this last hour today on Halftime. We won't worry about that tomorrow. Unless, I don't know, maybe something in the Arkansas-Oakland basketball game tonight, which, by the way, 6:30 airtime for the pregame with Chuck and Zim, 7:02 tip. I believe it is televised on SEC Network. Maybe something happens in that game to make it the best performance or the best play of the year, the best game of the year, but I highly doubt it. So what to you out there is your favorite game involving the Razorbacks this year, player on any of the Arkansas teams that you follow, moment that stands out, and story? I got some thoughts on this as well, but I wonder what all of our listeners think. I wonder what you think, Matt, and what C45 think at the same time.
I got two. Mine is Metcalf game, on the Plains to start SEC play. Satania making that catch. Metcalf causing 3 turnovers, just to start the season off right, especially after that Oklahoma State loss. That you look back at that and it's just like how did you let that happen? No reason for that September, but so you get that victory, and then winning on your home field, beating a top-ranked team, beating a playoff team. I mean, those 2 victories, and especially at that time, the reason why those 2 are my favorite 2 moments of the season, you still had hope. You still had belief. You still had a chance. And so it was early on. We were able to win. We didn't start off 0-3 in conference play. Started off 2-1. Very easily could have started off 3-0. You look back at the Oklahoma State game. I mean, man, could have won that. It could have beat A&M. In there a lot of games. So that Auburn game and that Tennessee game would be my 2.
So they finished the year with 7 wins. I think there was a great chance for 9, because I do agree with you. The A&M game was there for the taking. LSU just couldn't block enough, and Ole Miss had too much offense that day. And Texas, I just think everybody's having trouble moving the ball against them. But Oklahoma State was in the back of my mind during this Liberty Bowl game just because it was a Big 12 team and Arkansas had a big first-half lead. It's good to see that didn't happen. All right, my favorite game of the year would be the baseball game against Oregon State at the home of the Texas Rangers. That's the game where Hagen Smith set the record with the 17 strikeouts, doing it in, 6 innings, including 15 strikeouts in the first 5 innings, which is, I still can't wrap my head around that actually happened. Staff struck out. I don't know the box score in front of me. I should have pulled it up, but it was something like 25 or 26 strikeouts for the game. Went extra innings. He had the Peyton Holt triple off the fence for the go-ahead base hit. It was only the 4th game of the year, but I didn't see a single, at least baseball game, that surpassed it in terms of drama, talent level. I mean, you had 2 top 10 picks going at each other in that game, and Bazana, the second baseman for Oregon State, it was the top overall pick and struck out, if I remember, all 4 of his at-bats. It was amazing. Just a great game. Favorite moment, I go with 2 of them. If I'm thinking of a moment, I'm thinking of the stands emptying after the win over Tennessee. I mean, that just was anytime that there's a field rush at Arkansas, it feels cathartic. A little bit different, though, than the Texas rush of the field in 2021, because this is a good Tennessee team. They made the playoffs, and it just kind of came a little bit unexpected, and it was a lot of fun. It was a great night. I think that was probably most people's favorite moment of the entire calendar year for Arkansas athletics, also because it happened at home. But that's a couple of things I got. I got a couple of other ideas here for favorite player, favorite story. I'll get to that when we go throughout the last hour here of halftime. But 45, why don't we get 2 from you? Pick 2 of any of these: game, player, moment, story. What do you think?
I got you. I'm going to say probably one of my favorite moments from the season was during the national championship game for basketball. Nobody cared about who was playing because Arkansas just hired John Calipari. I mean, that's one of the biggest moments. And I think that during the time coming off of a rough season for the basketball program, definitely needed that shot of adrenaline and getting one of the most notable basketball coaches to ever blow a whistle. So that was an exciting moment for, I think, every Razorback fan, just to see what was going to happen, because you knew that, the old Don was going to get his 5 stars in, and once they got rolling, it was going to be really exciting to watch. And so far, that's proven pretty fruitful with just the roster he's assembled already. And then I'm going to go ahead and pick a player here. I guess I've been critical of this guy at times, more or less, but he's always really embodied what it means, I guess, to be a Razorback and to stick it out. The embodiment of college football. Played his last game of college football for the Razorbacks in the Liberty Bowl, and that's Hudson Clark. I just love seeing him compete every single time he got an opportunity. Obviously not the most athletic guy out there, but he was always one of the smartest guys on the field and always seemed to be around the play that needed to be made. So shout out to Hudson Clark for a great career as a Razorback, and watching him play, not just this year, but the last couple of years, was always one of my favorites. A big inspiration.
Hong Kong Sui has given us a phone call. Let's take this call, then the break. Good afternoon, Hong Kong Sui. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Phil, Matt? I was just wanting to kind of already hit on it a little bit. Participation charts following that concussion, they just don't show that that's what happened. Hoffman was on concussion protocol for a couple of games. He missed the rest of October, and then he played, plenty of snaps. I think he still started most of the games in November. I don't know that part for sure. I don't remember. But, I mean, he had good stats, good season. As to whether the head coach talked to him, I don't know. But, is that really the issue here? He still played in every game he could play. I think it's just sour grapes. He was unhappy with something. And, I think we need to look everything that comes out like this, look it over very carefully, because I don't think most of it's going to be true. As for what started that, it was a tweet asking why Desmond James didn't play more during the season.
Yeah.
He started out the season injured, and then he played a lot on special teams. And while he's an incredibly fast kid, he was a redshirt freshman. Who knows? He was behind guys who were seniors, upperclassmen. And while he might have been able to catch the ball better than Tyrone Brooks did, maybe, he might not have been as good a blocker, because Burton was an excellent downfield blocker, and Bobby Petrino certainly values downfield blocking. Other than that, man, I don't know. That's the best of the year. I'll take a player, and that would be suddenly our defensive end, whose name suddenly escaped me. I know him.
Landon Jackson, right?
Landon Jackson. I couldn't think of his name. I mean, he didn't have the type of year we hoped for rushing the passer, but, man, he took up 2-3 blockers every single play, played great against the run, and still did get some pressure, even having to deal with two or three blockers every play. Moment, this year after the new year. I love beating this. If that wasn't this year, it was still a season ended this year. We still have a lot of hope at that point in the season. Thought we could put it together and turn it around in basketball. Didn't work out, but I'll take it every time.
All right.
That's what
Hong
I got.
Kong.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, you got it. Thanks for calling, Hong Kong Sui. Much appreciated. Happy New Year to you. 877-377-6963 for any thoughts on this. You want to get over to Twin Peaks and Rogers tomorrow for New Year's Eve celebration. They do a blingin', and the New Year's party features a lingerie costume change, sweet deals on champagne all day long. Happy New Year at Twin Peaks and Rogers, also your sports headquarters. So they're going to have the playoff game on tomorrow night and all throughout the day on New Year's Day. Made from scratch fan favorites and sports blasting from every angle at Twin Peaks and Rogers. You can also go online to twinpeaksrestaurant.com and get your ultimate game day experience to go. More TVs, bigger screens, and scenic views. Always more to watch at Twin Peaks. Saturday Down South's Connor O'Gara will join us on halftime right after this.
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor at all.
This is halftime.
See, what every long shot come from behind underdog will tell you is this. The other guy may in fact be the favorite. The odds may be stacked against you, fair enough. But what the odds don't know is this isn't a math test. This is a completely different kind of test. One where passion has a funny way of trumping logic.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, Ty Richardson checking back in. Harry Robinson, Buick GMC, X11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. Derek, you guys have a lot of things going on, but I want to start with the $1,500 trade assistant. That's a big deal when it comes to getting more for your vehicle. We know we always get more for your trade at Harry Robinson Buick GMC, but that is true more than ever here in the next 3 days.
Most definitely, we're always known for giving more for your trade. Right now, giving an extra $1,500 on any vehicle. If you're a couple grand upside down, come by, let us help you out with half of that. $1,500 towards it, that can help up, one, just approval or help out with a payment, and then, get you into a new ride.
Yeah, there's plenty of new rides here online. Over 300 vehicles to choose from. All of Derek's vehicles that are pre-owned are state sales tax paid. That can save you even hundreds, even thousands of dollars. So come on by and see us. It is a beautiful day here on this Monday. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, X11, I-540 in Fort Smith. Hey, Ty Richardson here at First Financial Mortgage. My mortgage lender, Ethan Adamson. Ethan, congratulations. Over 300 five-star reviews.
Yeah, Ty, we pride ourselves on delivering a five-star service during the entire mortgage process.
What sets you apart from everyone else?
I think communication, how quickly we work, we get you closed on time or early. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5, ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
What makes Crabtree RV Center different? First, we are a fourth-generation family-owned business, taking pride in making your family's dreams come true. No corporate mentality here. Second, we've been in business for 74 years, founded in 1950 here in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas area. We are not going anywhere. What does that mean for our customers? A family feel with no corporate hidden fees. The reassurance that we will be here for generations to come, and knowledgeable salespeople who want to pick the right RV for your family to make lifetime memories in. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Some people call me the Space Cowboy. Yeah. Some call me the Gangster of Love. People call me Maurice. If I speak of the pompatus of love. People talk about me, baby. Say I'm doing you wrong, doing you wrong. Don't you worry, baby, don't worry. 'Cause I'm right here, right here, right here, right here at home. 'Cause I'm a picker.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
All right, headed over to our hotline from Saturday down south. Connor O'Gara joins us one day before the college football playoff resumes and a day before we start to celebrate the new year. Connor, what's going on? How you been?
Gentlemen, doing really well. Hope everything is going well in your neck of the woods as well.
That's going all right. We had a good Liberty Bowl win for the Razorbacks over Texas Tech. How many bowl games have you watched from start to finish?
Oh, I don't. That's tough because I feel like I don't watch a ton of the non-SEC bowls from start to finish. I catch them in segments, and then it's more so like, hey, when is it convenient to actually be able to watch into this game? So, like, start to finish, I mean, probably not more than, like, 7 so far. No, that's not including playoff. I don't know. We're probably closer to 10. So it's not that much so far. Now, that'll ramp up, of course, in the next few days here because this is really when bowl season kind of gets going, in my opinion. But, no, it's not been a crazy number just because we haven't had a lot of that SEC action yet.
Well, you're going to start getting more SEC action in the playoff coming up soon. Who do you think is the favorite? Does it come down to who wins between Oregon and Ohio State? Because Ohio State, I think, looked the best of any of the teams that played in the first round.
Yeah, I think that's fair for right now. And I think so much of the Ohio State conversation was going to center on how do they respond post-Michigan loss. Did they come out and look like a team that was humiliated and they were just in complete and total shock that that could ever happen, and they just looked like a team that couldn't get over that? Or were they going to look like a team that, showed up with some bad intentions and wanted to make sure that any sort of Tennessee takeover didn't happen? We found out it was the latter, and now everybody's looking at Ohio State going, oh, yeah, that's a $20 million roster. It's still pretty good when it's not playing against Michigan. So I think it's perfectly fair to say that the favorite is between that matchup, and who knows, will Ohio State beat Oregon in the rematch? Can they make some of those plays down the stretch that just didn't necessarily go their way? I think they can. I'm not fully on board with Ohio State winning a national championship because it still involves Ryan Day beating 4 really good teams down the stretch. And I don't know that I have full confidence in him to be able to do that. But, yeah, it is going to have that sort of dialogue, especially if it's a good back-and-forth game of, wow, this felt like it was the national championship.
32-31 was their first meeting. Ohio State had 2 turnovers. Oregon didn't have 1. You wonder how much that home field advantage helped Oregon. Yeah, that's going to be a dynamite of a game. Hey, Connor, when I look at this Texas-Arizona State game, I don't know a lot about Arizona State. Seen Texas play probably 4 or 5 times this year. I think they're just as talented as anybody. What do you have to say for our listeners, people around here? We haven't seen Arizona State play. Are you giving Arizona State any type of chance to upset Texas?
Yeah, I'll give them a chance. And for those who don't know kind of the Arizona State story, Kenny Dillingham's youngest coach in FBS. He's a week older than me, which is a weird thing to process. He's 34 years old, and this team came out of nowhere. They were picked to finish dead last in the Big 12. And if you go back to that Week 2 game that they played against Mississippi State, a team that did not win a single SEC game, there are people like myself saying, yeah, I think Mississippi State can go into Tempe and win that game. And then little did we know what Cam Scadaboo was. He was the guy that I put third on my Heisman Trophy ballot. He ends up finishing fifth just outside of that group to make it to New York. And this Arizona State team, once it put in Sam Levitt as the starting quarterback, just took off. And you see who they were down the stretch. I mean, they blew out Iowa State in that Big 12 championship in a game that was never particularly close. And they're kind of playing with house money at this point. So how do they match up against Texas, a team that has been unbelievably good for most of the season, but has not had that top-tier gear to show, hey, we can go in and beat a really good team and show that we are in that national championship conversation from start to finish. Now, in my opinion, Texas still has a favorable path to win this game because I worry for Arizona State's sake that they're a little bit too one-dimensional and they're going to trust Cam Scadaboo too much. They're without their leading receiver, Jordan Tyson. But I do think that it could be a good 60-minute game. That's just kind of the way that Texas has played this year. I mean, Arkansas fans know they hung around with that Texas team, and it wasn't necessarily, hey, Texas gets up 28-0, and that's kind of all she wrote. So I could see a similar script playing out in this one.
What about Notre Dame and Georgia? You know, I mean, Riley Leonard's legs just seems to be a big factor no matter what. And, you know, Matt's pointed out a little bit about maybe a little lack of quickness to get to the outside for Georgia offensively. Who do you give an edge to with Notre Dame and UGA?
It's fascinating that Gunnar Stockton's first career start is coming against this Notre Dame team. And Georgia's had a lot of time to process that. That won't be anything new. If you've seen some of the comments that have come out of Athens, it's kind of telling how much they're believing in Gunnar Stockton, and not in any cliche sort of way, but kind of comparing him to Carson Beck. And it almost seems like Gunnar Stockton's more of the locker room guy, and Carson Beck had kind of isolated himself. Make of that what you will. Gunnar Stockton is facing one of the best defenses in all of college football, and there are Georgia fans who are dismissing Notre Dame because of the recent history against them, and probably also because they're 3-23 against AP top 5 teams since 1999. So I get why Georgia would look past the Irish and go, that's not difficult. They're going to rally around Gunnar Stockton. They're going to find a way to win this game. They very well could do that. But this matchup, in terms of the things that these teams do well and don't do well, it favors Notre Dame. It really does. Like the Irish, they have a three-headed rushing attack with Riley Leonard, also with Jeremiah Love, who's been this really nice late-season revelation for them that can take over a game. And Georgia is not as gap disciplined as it's been in years past. I mean, 16 runs of 20 yards allowed this season, or 15, I think that number is. They had allowed 16 the previous 3 seasons combined. Like, it's just been a different group in that area. So I think Notre Dame's going to absolutely give them problems. I think they're going to need some heroics from Gunnar Stockton late. I'll still take Georgia to win this one, but I think it's an absolute thriller. And I think it's a reminder that Georgia has not been that top tier, hey, we're going to show that we're national champs from start to finish type of game. And I think that Notre Dame kind of gives them everything that they can handle.
Man, you might be onto something there. That's going to be interesting. I do think people looking at the passes, something Phil and I were talking about, you think Notre Dame, every time they get a chance to play one of those powerhouses, they just get ran out of the gym. So that will be interesting to see if they can hold strong. And I look back to that A&M game. A&M's offensive and defensive line just as good as any team in the SEC, and Notre Dame definitely matched them the entire game. When you go into the Penn State-Boise State matchup, that's kind of my lock. Last week, my lock was Notre Dame. I was like, there's no way Notre Dame's going to lose to Indiana. Lock that one in. I'm kind of feeling that same way about Big Game James and Penn State being my lock this week. How do you feel about that one?
Yeah, I mean, look, Big Game James is 3-19 against AP top 10 teams at Penn State. One win against the top 10 team outside of that 2016 season was when Cam Rising got hurt in the Rose Bowl a few years ago. So make of that what you will, but it is a really favorable matchup for Penn State. It's hard to envision them losing to a Boise State team that, look, everybody knows who they are offensively with Genty, and it's going to be difficult for Maddox Madsen to be able to beat them. And they're gonna put him in spots where it's 3rd and 9, and you need to be able to pick up that big-time conversion against a Penn State defense that's been pretty relentless. And if you watch that SMU game, they turned Kevin Jennings into a shell of himself. So that definitely could play out. But I think people are discounting a little bit how good Boise State has been with getting pressure. They could get some pressure on Drew Aller. They could do some things to kind of frustrate that passing game when they can pin their ears back in some of those spots. They've been a little bit more of an opportunistic defense. But, yeah, I mean, I predicted Boise State going into this to win this game against Penn State. I don't feel good about that. I'm kind of just defaulting to Penn State and who they've been under James Franklin, which is a team that's struggled against AP top 10 teams. Boise State is technically one of those teams. But, yeah, I mean, it does feel like probably the safest bet of the weekend to say that Penn State will take care of business against Boise State.
James Franklin is the latest person to try to get Nick Saban to think about being the commissioner of college football, which doesn't exist. It is not a position that is open and doesn't even exist at the moment. But it was almost 52 weeks ago. I think it was more 51 weeks ago that the historic day occurred where Belichick, Carroll, and Saban all retired. Belichick and Carroll want to get back into coaching. Heck, Belichick obviously already did get back into coaching, not the way we thought he would. Carroll's, interested in getting back into the NFL. Not hearing any of that about Nick Saban. There is no commissioner of college football. I don't know if the next iteration of college football with this House settlement would ever open itself up to something like that. But if there's a sport that needs somebody with a strong hand and someone who's been through the battles of it, Saban would be the guy. Although when you think about that, every other league in college football might think, look how he's talked about the SEC right now. That he's going to be the commissioner of the SEC and then everybody else.
That's the problem. And the other problem too, picture Hunter Yurachek. I'll make the example local. Picture Hunter Yurachek and all the athletic directors in the SEC and the presidents in the SEC and those people in those positions across college athletics. Picture them all meeting somewhere and saying, you know what? We got to give up power. That's what we need to do. That is what having a commissioner of college football is acknowledging. Now, do we all look at this and say it would be beneficial? Absolutely. I see all the merits of it. But have I allowed myself to think it's a possibility because of that hurdle that they would have to work through? No, I can't get there. I won't necessarily believe that people that have had so much control over the direction of their individual institution and their individual conference in the sake of conference commissioners, I don't believe that they will relinquish control and have a neutral party, so to speak, weigh in on huge decisions that determine their futures. So it's for that reason that it's more utopic, I think, than probably the average fan acknowledges. And as of right now, all we can really have is people like James Franklin coming out and saying, yeah, Nick Saban should be the commissioner of college football. Well, let's see everybody get on board with that. Until that happens, I'm probably not going to spend too much time thinking much more about it.
I think that's about right. Very well said. Connor, appreciate your time. Hope you have a great new year, and we'll talk to you in 25.
Gentlemen, appreciate it. Be well.
Connor O'Gara, the senior national columnist at Saturday Down South. We are brought to you by the Stadium Shop. You might have left a few of your favorite people off your Christmas list. Well, get over to the Stadium Shop. Your favorite people still need everything they have over there for tailgating, game day, man cave decorations, and dorm room things involving the Razorbacks. And at the Stadium Shop, they have everything involving Arkansas Razorback athletics. They're a local, family, alumni-owned and operated. Call them at 479-STADIUM or stop by the Stadium Shop on Razorback and make sure they know ESPN sent you. They're online at shoponrazorback.com. To get with halftime, as we are getting into your favorite Razorback game, player, play, and story right after this. 877-377-6963. We're in the home stretch and right back.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app
is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Today, football is a game of sound. What if you couldn't hear your coach's play calls? What if you couldn't hear the referee's whistle? For deaf and hard of hearing athletes like me, these what-ifs are a reality. But with the AT&T 5G helmet, now we can see play calls just like the other teams hear them.
Connect the player, change the game. Learn more at att.com/5G helmet. Connecting changes everything. AT&T. AT&T is a proud supporter of the Gallaudet Bison AT&T 5G helmet, not for sale.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, Ty Richardson, check it back in. Harry Robinson, Buick GMC, Exit 11, I-540 in Fort Smith. End of the year sales event going on, Harrison. I know a lot of people have been talking about this $1,500 trade assistance. You've got state sales tax paid on all your pre-owned vehicles. We're sitting next to Harry right now. I know he's happy, man. A lot of people have been stopping by for good reason.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I mean, huge savings right now. State sales tax over 400 pre-owns, cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. $1,500 more for your trade. So if you've gone anywhere else and they're giving you $10,000, we're going to give you $11,500. So come see us, save a ton of money, and also we've got deals on our new cars too. So we've got to sell 3.
Well, 0%, right?
Yeah, some are up to 0%. Some of the trucks are up to $10,000 off. So you need to sell 3 Buicks. You need to sell 3 GMCs in the next 2 days. So if you're looking to get a good deal on a new or pre-owned, come see us in the next 2 days, guys.
Harrison's the guy. Come on by and see us. Harry Robinson, Buick GMC, Exit 11, I-540 in Fort Smith.
At Central Hydraulic in Fort Smith, the work doesn't just stop when the temperature drops. We're your go-to service provider. Be sure to prep your machine and stay ahead of the frost and costly damage. Still using summer oil? Winter-friendly oil is the weapon your machine needs. Be sure to get an oil change. Check your hydraulic fluid, fuel prep, and battery check. For all these services needed in the cold weather months, come see Central Hydraulic for all your hydraulic needs at 6104 Highway 271 South. Or call at 479-646-0571. Central Hydraulic, your service provider.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jasco Graphics. 16 years in the industry. How do people see what you've made over the years, Cecil?
Google or Yahoo it or Bing it. Jasco Graphics Design, JAAZCO, Monday through Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And sometimes I'm here after. So if that open sign is on, I'm here. Y'all come on in. Jasco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jasco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Winter has arrived, bringing frosty mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Just got home from Illinois, locked the front door open. Sat down, take a rest on the porch. Imagination set us in. Heard it soon I'm singing. Do, 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 looking out my back door. It's giant doing cartwheels. Statues wearing high heels. Looking at creatures dancing on the lawn. Dinosaur controller, listening to Buck Owens. Do, 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 looking out my back door.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime as we get into the home stretch here of, I was going to call it a golden hour. It kind of feels a little bit like that on a Monday. 877-377-6963 to get with us here. An interesting text in Chris in Springdale here, Matt, saying if Notre Dame can break through and beat Georgia in the playoffs, it would just be a giant getting over the hump sort of a win for Rust Belt schools to win a game like that against an SEC team. And I remember feeling, would it have been, was it the Denver Broncos beating the Green Bay Packers, the first Super Bowl championship for Elway that ended a really long NFC winning streak in which it used to feel like the NFC championship game was the real Super Bowl. And the outcomes of the Super Bowl, which more often than not then were total blowouts, kind of confirmed that. We don't really feel like that anymore. It's been a long time. But I always remember that one game felt like, yes, it's a huge win for Denver. It's not like you're like twirling an AFC flag or anything, but it felt like there was a change in the NFL from that point on. Maybe a Notre Dame win, and you've pointed it out. You said it to Connor. You're right. Yeah, I think every time Notre Dame has made it to the college football playoff and it was a 4-team iteration, like you said, they got run through. But what if they beat Georgia? It would feel like it's a major change in college football.
Yeah, the Redskins, the Giants, and the Cowboys all won Super Bowls in the 90s. That NFC East was ridiculous there for a little bit. Yeah, I mean, we're all you kind of even if you just look the last 10 years, last 12 years, anytime that Notre Dame has had to play somebody that had strength and size and speed, can match up, Notre Dame looked a step slow. They sure didn't in week one. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm interested. I like their running back they had. That was kind of they had a couple runs and you couldn't even touch. Ohio State did the same thing. Just 30-yard, 40-yard runs, untouched touchdowns. That's just different level speed. You do have a quarterback that has a lot of experience. What Notre Dame's done in the portal is going and getting a smart veteran quarterback. If you look the last couple of years, kind of what Oregon's done as well. Somebody who has a lot of reps. It's could come down to turnovers. Who kind of has who can speed the other team up? Can Notre Dame get this young quarterback who hasn't had a lot of reps? Can they? Because you don't really know what he's going to do. You don't know what he likes, but you do know what the offense. You kind of know what Georgia's identity is. So how fast does that cat and mouse game happen? And who protects the ball a little bit.
I remember feeling just going into the Liberty Bowl, Arkansas is going to have a big leg up because they have an experienced quarterback who's played all season, and Texas Tech does not. I mean, it can't come maybe to being that simple, although I liked what I saw from Stockton in the second half of the game he played in the SEC championship. It's just Riley Leonard's been around for a long time. 3 years at Duke. He was the guy targeted by Notre Dame to take over this year, and he's had exactly the kind of season that they were hoping to get from him. Looking at so that NFC winning streak went in the Super Bowl from the 84 season, which would have been January 85 when the Niners destroyed the Dolphins and Dan Marino's one Super Bowl appearance. And they won it. The NFC won every Super Bowl up until 97 when it was the Broncos beating the Packers. So from 84 through 96, the NFC champion was the Super Bowl champion. It's not quite like that in college football with the SEC, but it ain't all that far from it. All right, got a couple other things to get to here as far as our favorite something or other. I'd give my favorite game, which was the win over Oregon State at the Texas Rangers ballpark. My favorite moment was the stands emptying against Tennessee. This was my favorite play of the year.
In the air, it's deep enough for the run. Peyton Holt in center field makes the catch. Runners don't try to score. Donet's coming home. He throws to third. Sprague-Lott fires to the plate. They got him. Florida just ran themselves out of an inning, and the Hogs still hold the lead. What was Brody Donet doing? Peyton Holt deked him. He deked him in center field. and he never runs after the catch, and then he runs when he throws to third base.
It was one of the more bizarre plays that worked out exactly the way that Peyton Holt wanted it to work out. And thinking that that was a guy, we didn't know what position he would play in the year. Second base, third base, left field, center field. He turned out he was the best center fielder on the team. I also think it doesn't feel right to me that Peyton Holt was not picked up by some major league team to play minor league baseball and give him a shot. There was a great video that I saw yesterday. It was a video taken from behind a catcher's perspective, and he's catching a little bullpen session with Paul Skeens. So you get to see what it looks like to essentially be the umpire with Skeens pitching. You really can't see the ball. Peyton Holt quote tweets this video and says, "Been there, done that. He went 2 for 2 against Skeens. This was the most difficult pitcher to hit in all of Major League Baseball last year, and Peyton Holt doesn't get a chance to play professional baseball. Doesn't sit with me very well."
Yeah, man, what a Razorback. He was fun to watch. That was I want to say my favorite baseball game was going with my sisters and my mother to the Mother's Day weekend.
Oh, that was fun.
They played Mississippi. Got to see you and Bubba in the up top. So that was a pretty cool game just to spend it with them and watch the Hogs play.
Now, my favorite story of the year is one that I couldn't have imagined that you'd have a center fielder deke a runner at third base. But for John Calipari to be the Razorback head men's basketball coach, I would believe that Peyton Holt would have grown a third arm before I would have believed that Cal would be the Razorback basketball coach. I told Matt Zimmerman that when he texted me a couple of days before it really started to take hold. And he's like, "You better watch out for this. Calipari's probably going to be the basketball coach." I said, "You're lying. You're making this up. You're just trying to get a rise out of me." He was right. I almost still don't believe it. But that, to me, is one of the biggest stories in all of college sports throughout the year. Heck, all of sports in America throughout the year. It's got to be at the top of the list at Razorback Sports, too. He is still the coach. He will be out there tonight against Oakland. Yes, he will be the coach.
Well, and one of the best moments was, I mean, we all got the theatrics of Tom Cruise closing out the Olympic ceremonies in Paris. Like, come on. If that's not a sporting event right there, a guy that does his own stunts.
Just give him a couch to jump on when he's finished with that. Yeah, so I guess at some point I may watch the movie. You know, the thing I figured out I got to do, and maybe since I won't be doing anything tomorrow night for New Year's, I need to revisit the entire Johnny Depp Amber Heard court battle. Wasn't there a
watch Rum Diaries? That's the movie he met her on. I don't know if you've seen. It's a great movie if you're looking for it. But that's where he met. It's it's your boy that did Fear and Love, Hunter S. Thompson. It's a different thing of him. You know how he's enthralled with Hunter S. Thompson. Johnny Depp is so. But that's where they kind of met and did their thing. So I think it was a 2012, 2009, like it's 10, 15 years ago. So that'll kind of give you an idea as you're getting into it.
Well, I decided to rewatch The Wire, which is really good. But I think if I can watch Johnny Depp and Hunter S. Thompson in something together or something where he's playing him, I'm all.
It's your boy Two-Face from Gotham City, Hines Ward. The same. Yep, same. The same. He's in Rum Diary. There's another guy that's you'll absolutely love that you'll know as soon as you see his face. So it is worth a watch.
Aaron Eckert can be my boy. Johnny Depp can be your boy, and we'll come back and wrap up our show right after this on halftime.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
This is halftime.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
It's Al Richardson checking back in. Harry Robinson, Buick GMC, X11, I-540 in Fort Smith. I grabbed Derek real quick before he starts chowing down because he's so ready to talk on the radio with us. And Derek, you got a lot of things going on. State sales tax paid, every single pre-owned vehicle, $1,500 trade assistance, and you're doing, again, up to 0% on some new vehicles as well.
Yeah, 0%. We're offering 0% on some of our Sierras right now. We ain't got a whole lot, but we've got enough. Guys, we're doing state sales tax paid on our pre-owned. That's huge. It's money given back to you that's not financed in. I've got over 300 pre-owned units, cars, vans, trucks, SUVs. I've got lifted 3/4 tons. I've got Jeeps. I've got anything that you're looking for here on the lot. We're paying state sales tax. $1,500 extra on trade-in assistance. That's if you buy new or used.
I can't beat that. Come on by and see Derek today. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, Exit 11, I-540 in Fort Smith.
The holiday season can be stressful. Luckily, Dave and the crew at Eastside Liquor has everything you need for this time of year. Crowded homes, annoying relatives call for peppermint schnapps, or maybe you're just a typical brown water guy. It really doesn't matter because Eastside Liquor can take care of everything you need. 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith with a convenient drive-thru. And you can call them 479-452-7311. Eastside Liquor, everyday low prices on beer, wine, spirits, and cigars.
Hey, folks, here at Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren, Crawford County's only new car dealer. I've got Grant Neal, general manager. Grant, man, what a great selection you guys have here at Road Chevrolet.
It's really awesome. You know, we've been looking at trying to expand our inventory, and right now the selection's the best it's been in a long time. Full line of new light-duty trucks. Got, I think, over 10 heavy-duty trucks in stock, including the 3500 cabin chassis, as well as the extremely popular custom 2500 that everybody's in love with.
There have been times when some dealerships have charged over MSRP. What about here at Rhodes?
Well, no, I mean, we've never charged over MSRP through all the craziness we never did, and now we're even marking below MSRP.
And if you need financing, you can take care of that too.
Oh, absolutely. Robert Good, our finance director, is an absolute wizard at working the banks. GM Financial's offering rates as low as 1.9% for well-qualified buyers on select new Chevys, and we haven't seen rates that low in a very long time.
Come by today, 2800 Alma Highway, Van Buren Road, Chevrolet.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Here's a real-life story that affects 50% of all of us out there. It's called divorce. If you've gotten divorced and now you're struggling to pay your bills and your credit card debts are completely out of control, you need to call this special debt relief hotline right now. We help people with all kinds of money problems caused by different life challenges, a divorce, a job loss, even heavy medical bills. All these life events can sometimes financially stress you out and cause you to get out of control. We help people get their lives back by showing them ways to consolidate and reduce their debt, in some cases for a fraction of what they owe. If your credit card balances are more than $10,000, call us and learn how to reduce your credit card bills and monthly payments now. Here's our number.
Paid for by Debt.com. Call now at 800-810-2294. 800-810-2294. 800-810-2294. That's 800-810-2294.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Chris in Springdale texted in, Maddie thinks Johnny Depp should have stayed with Winona Ryder. I don't know if she thinks that. It's probably a good thing for her, too, that thing didn't last. Well, counting down to, well, I guess we get one more show for the year. We've got Monday Night Football tonight. There's a bowl game being played right now. That'll tell you kind of how I feel about some bowl season. I don't even know what's going on with Iowa and Minnesota right now. I do know that some of the ex-Florida State players have sued Leonard Hamilton for what they said were promises for $250,000 in NIL that they did not get. That'll be something pretty interesting to follow moving forward. Otherwise, man, I got laundry, got a game to get ready for Thursday. Arkansas versus LSU, the first women's basketball SEC game. Might put on Arkansas versus Oakland for a chunk tonight, but they'll start SEC play this weekend too. And just kind of looking forward to getting into 2025. Too bad tomorrow's not New Year's Day.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, 2024, where'd it go? Tennessee is where the men start. So one more tune-up before conference play gets here, and 18 conference games. Does 8 and 10 does 8 and 10 get you in? You know,
I think so.
Yeah, I think 500. I think 9 and 9. If you're in the SEC, 9 and 9, 100% gets you in. It's a big start, man. It's a big start and it's in Knoxville, man. That's going to be that could tell you. Look, we started the football season on the road and we won last year. I think Auburn came to our house and beat us by 70. I think it was the worst loss in Bud Walton history. So let's get that out of the way.
Yeah, let's not have that happen later this weekend. We thought that would be something to just jump past. It was not something to jump past. But you remember every single road game is a quad 1 win if you win it, except for South Carolina. That's just so really with 8 and 10, I think gets you in. 7 and 11 can get you in depending on where those wins occur. Man, it's going to be a wild basketball season. You've already had a wild football season. You get a little bit more of that. And then baseball season is like 6 weeks away, so that's going to be crazy too. Good stuff. Great to be back here. This was a Monday. Yes, tomorrow's kind of like a Friday-ish Tuesday since no show on New Year's Day. Ruskin and Zach are coming up. They'll take you to 6:30. That's when it's pregame for Arkansas versus Oakland at Bud Walton Arena. And we'll do this all over again tomorrow. Make sure you download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Has our conversations with Mike Irwin, 3 Up, 3 Down with Dr. Charlie Liggett and with Connor O'Gara. And tomorrow we'll revisit this thing at 11 o'clock in the morning. For Matt Jones, Colton Little, Kristen Johnston, I'm Phil Elson. We appreciate your ears. That's halftime. Now, get up, get out, and get better.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight.